You know what?
What?
He don't like niggas. Way to go, Gary.
Let Gary talk. Let Gary talk.
Yeah, I don't mind niggas, but I just don't like what they do.
Wow.
I don't like that.
Things are a little out of control on Hollywood Square.
Hey, crazy Hollywood.
Jerry, can I ask you what's wrong with blacks?
There ain't nothing wrong with blacks. Do you have any problem with blacks?
Can I ask the horse something?
Sure.
If you could have sex with only one man right now, would it be a nigger, a fag, or a Jew?
All three of them at the same time.
Wow. Daniel, what do you think of that? The girls say they would have sex with a black man.
Well, if you have a sex with a beast, you should be put to death, both the woman and the beast.
These are white women, though, Daniel.
It don't matter. The
These are
Bible
white.
says if a woman lays with a beast, she should be put to death, both the woman and the beast.
Wow. Wow. Gilbert laughing at you.
Wow, that's enough for the intro. So, hello and welcome to our weekly Anti-SJW Ultradegeneracy. And, what do you think of the intro for this?
I'm still reminded of that meme you shared yesterday, the trash left meme, where it's with the Trojan horse of edgy memes of the Trojan horse for Nazism from totally apolitical YouTubers. I think we're doing that.
Well, I mean, it's not much of a Trojan horse if that's pretty blatant. I mean, the favorite term for this is dog whistle, but these people don't know that the dog whistles are supposed to be subtle.
Yeah, and what we are doing is as subtle as a sledgehammer.
Yeah, as subtle as a brick through the window.
So the left can't meme or dog whistle.
No, they just don't get dog whistling. Who was that fuckwit on what show it was? Where it's like, oh, at this point, Donald Trump's not even dog whistling. This is a full-blown foghorn.
Oh my god!
Oh, there's a video. Yeah, I think I did a video.
As I opened up my browser, I had
there we go.
I had a YouTube tab open, and as I opened up the thing, and the ad before the video started, please join this national movement to impeach Trump.
Fuck that.
By the way, this meme,
If they say that,
You're autistic, right? You're easy to fool, right?
I'm about sure that they would say that impeaching Trump would be a service to the nation, and doing, I don't know, would that count as nationalism?
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah. Like, okay, what's the specific topic?
Well, what they're talking about? What specific topic?
Well, our topic today is
how Trump took away all your monies.
Oh God. Yeah.
How Justice Smollett might become the next Denzel Washington.
Yeah, like what the Mueller report. The Mueller report just finished up. Like what, less than a week ago?
I think it was last
They
week.
actually released the whole thing yet, or what?
Wait, I just
I don't know,
realized.
it's like I love how it is that Mueller is the golden boy. He is the chosen one who will bring down Trump.
He's the
anymore.
traitor.
Betrayed us. He is lower than scum.
Yes, within less than 24 hours, Mueller might be compromised.
Yeah, I remember during the Super Bowl, I saw this one cringy meme. This guy's just like, some people are rooting for the Patriots, some people are rooting for whoever they went up against, but I'm going like, go Team Mueller, go Team Rule of Law. Oh yeah, I wonder what that dipshit's like now.
Yeah. Oh, and that one video that was going around, we wish you a Mueller Christmas. I was like,
Well, we wish him Merry Christmas late, but anyway, I just realized Jussie Smollett is about 100 pounds short of being the new millennium OJ.
Yeah. Yeah,
basically,
He
like
loves
OJ Simpson,
he loves getting
but
touched by
100 pounds
dudes in the
lighter.
butt. That's true.
Well, let's talk about
Peter's
that.
office is fucked.
Let's talk
I
about
hope he doesn't write a fucking book also now called If I Did It, because
Yeah,
then
it's
I
all
will
in
go to the
crayon.
US and shoot him.
The illustrations look like a child made it. It's great.
So let's talk about it, because this story is this so retarded. First of all,
So retarded it should be on Fox.
One moment before we start, let me launch my application, my soundboard application to annoy everyone because something tells me we have enough people for me to have to use the air horn sound effect.
Right now.
Do it.
Call the hunch. But anyways,
somebody give me the watch link so I can pop the chat out in a separate window.
Okay, one moment. So this that's following.
Glebs, I guess it's too late to do the intros, right?
Yeah, well, okay. I ask everyone to be be more collected, and you do the opposite. Let's introduce people. So yeah, Broken Heart.
I think he's AFK. His mic's muted.
He had information on the crimes of Hillary Clinton.
We'll come back to him. We'll introduce him.
Chairman, just chairman. It says.
Yeah. Actually, since for my test, I did a test of personality to match me with a dictator, and I turned out I'm closer to Mao Zedong. So now I am Chairman Macho.
Okay, post a link to that test because I want to find out who I am.
That ought to be interesting. I'd like to see who you get too, James.
James, say hello.
Yeah. Do what?
Say hello.
It's your turn to be introduced.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I love my new t-shirt.
Good. Cancer.
So is it like a OC called Dedachu or something?
Well, yeah, it actually somebody actually started doing these t-shirts. I saw the ad on Facebook, and because Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Pikachu in the Detective Pikachu movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And so they did a Dragon Ball Z fusion t-shirt.
I thought it was like Sonichu but Dedachu, which is
Ew, not Sonichu.
You're not far off.
Yeah, well, it's some people actually do say Dedachu. Some say Pikachu. I'm just like I'm a Deadpool fan, and it was like because he's the voice of Pikachu in a new movie. I was like, I want the T-shirt.
Apparently, they did actually test Danny DeVito for a time.
Nice. Oh, welcome back. Say hello to viewers.
We were this close to greatness. We were this close.
Oh,
he's fucking with his mic again.
Oh,
we'll introduce him last.
As soon as I said that today nobody has sound issues, spoke too soon.
Great job, Gleb.
Sorry about that, guy.
You jinxed it.
Yeah, anyways.
Having some internet issues.
Oh, well, welcome back. So, say hello to our viewers.
Hello. What was the question? You got one.
Just introductions, and today everyone acts even less organized than usual, so introductions take a long time.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but you were away from the stream while the disorderly conduct was going on, so you're not one to ask for forgiveness. All of you ask for forgiveness.
Okay.
None of you are without sin.
Nick, you're next.
Oh boy. That's it.
Nice introduction. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Very fitting for our show.
Yeah.
Striker.
Hello, everybody. This is the worst cast member and cringe lower extraordinaire Striker coming at you tonight. How's it going, everybody?
We're great. Hello, everyone. It's great to be back after a 3-week absence. And on that same test that Macho took, I got Vladimir Putin.
You know who I got? I got Saddam Hussein.
I could totally see that.
Fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I miss spicy Saddam memes. Something fierce. I can't lie.
Andrew Dahl.
Yo. I'm back and fixed my issues that I had the last time I was on.
Oh,
my issues.
If only I could fix my issues, all of them. Well, all of us.
Well, some of them can be fixed with a magic powder.
Yeah. Unlimited powder. By the way, I'm your host, Sheevlord. Privilege here. As always, you can see my finally fixed the lower third. Anyways, so since we mentioned Jussie, let's talk about that, because it's just gourmet idiocy going on with this. So, if you haven't heard, charges against him were dropped, but it's not because he's innocent, because obviously he isn't. He's guilty as fuck. But because he's really, really well connected. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Let me just show some of the screen capture.
And/or his attorney might be part of a much larger sting.
Further reminder that as a panel of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white men, 1 Asian, and 1 Latino. If we did
I'm not
what he
white.
did,
Fuck you. I'm a proud WAP.
okay, 5 white men, a WAP, a Latino, and an Asian.
Thank
if any
you.
one of us did what Jussie Smollett did, we'd be in jail right now.
Okay, are we supposed
No.
to walk into a bar?
We would have been lynched.
We would have been sent to a fucking federal prison. Getting asked by Baba and Tyrone.
Lynched in the court of public opinion.
So his sister worked for Barack Obama, and there's also video. Let me just show this.
Imagine my cock.
It says, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I feel like Jussie Smollett had a Chicago PD get off jail free card.
What's funny is that Rahm Emanuel was actually trying to go after Smollett. I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about Rahm Emanuel, but I do know that he also is Kamala Harris's cousin or something.
He's also incredibly corrupt as fuck.
Check this out. Jussie Smollett dancing on stage with Michelle Obama at one of the college events.
He dances like a white guy. Amazing.
Well, he is half white, isn't he?
Oh, so he's a Jordan Peele. That explains everything. You can't trust those people.
See, the sad part about it is, okay, you know the charges are dropped because somebody used some pulls somewhere and everything. And that now is going to get investigations going on people who really didn't want to be looked at. Had they just gone behind the scenes quietly, got the prosecutor to do probation and fine and just kind of let it die, then they would have been okay. But no, they want to sit there and show their balls, want to sit there and be like, yeah, we can get people off of charges that we like and everything. And it's like, you just fucked up.
I mean, the other thing is
the other possibility is that it may be part of a deal to get him to leak shit on his lawyer who defrauded a bunch. Oh, was that just proven
really
now?
Unlikely. First of all, the way this was handled, they did it. They dropped the charges really, really quietly, and the police got. The only way police knew about this is just like the rest from the news. So this is like unprecedented.
Well, what about the feds? Aren't they still doing investigation? Because he committed mail fraud. That's 5 years.
Yeah, but I actually did an in-depth look on this, and so they're actually putting the case on looking into Kim Foxx, the state attorney, and put it to the FBI because the police of Chicago thought she first recused herself from the case, and then re-entered.
Actually did.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is then she got back into it and made this deal, and there are texts showing between a relative or Jussie Smollett texting between Kim, the state attorney, and her, basically feeding her information, telling her what to do, and so that is highly unethical. And to also just drop the 16 felony charges. The FBI case is still on, but now they want to put it over to the FBI, make it federal on all charges, and also investigate Kim Foxx. And this is from the Chicago FBI. And the balls on this guy, who he's also considering suing the he said it, I think, the same day or the day after, on Wednesday, I think. It was reported that he was trying to sue. Chicago PD for his for how the.
He's not
This guy's getting pretty bad.
Well,
This is gonna take a while.
the thing is, I'm wondering that would be super awesome if it truly was, but it's just pure fantasy / fan fiction. Imagine if Mueller just dropped this so he could get on this case. He dropped the results like, all right, I'm fucking done. Now I'm going after him.
Yeah. Well,
So his inner KKK member awoke.
You know what? We should first of all, I wanted to point out that this only is about the 16 felony charges for the fake attack by those quote unquote white MAGA supporters who turned out to be like two black dudes, but this is not the same as the case about the hate mail he sent to himself. This is a federal investigation, and it has nothing to do with this. So he's not off the hook yet. Also, since this is going to be investigated by the FBI, well, he's not completely off the hook in this case either. But the thing is that let me just open this. Apparently, police wasn't informed in timely manner, and it was so unprecedented that they were pretty pissed off. Let me just show this article. So, it's the wrong article. I think the one that.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Damn.
Let's take a look at this article.
Really trying to go
Oh, wow. Oh,
it's going to be a clusterfuck for quite a while.
Okay, so
because he's surrendered a $10,000 bond now. If they're actually going to charge him the $130,000 for the investigation.
Well, he surrendered his $10,000 bond.
Yeah, now if they're
that's
actually
like
going to
so
pop
much
him
money compared to
$130,000 for the investigation cost. Oh yeah.
So let's take a look at this one. Okay, so city officials have ordered Jussie Smollett to pay $130,000 to cover the cost of the investigation into his report, because police, they know he did it. I mean, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
And
if you're innocent, you want to prove it in court. So
yeah,
already that's
Michael
something.
Jackson's biggest regret in his life was never continuing the legal case, and he said that multiple times before his death. That was the one thing he regretted in his life.
But by the way, another thing is that nobody except for Jussie himself said that Jussie is innocent, because even the prosecutors insist that he's they dropped charges not because of the insufficient evidence. They said that evidence was sufficient, and everything was done by the books, so there were no.
I think they had some dirt on her or something like that. They wouldn't risk dropping charges like that unless they had something significant.
Are you in a fucking well or something?
Huh? No, don't think about it. Not it.
Oh, the charges were dropped because because of his political connections. It's obvious. Because not to mention Obama is from Chicago.
They mentioned that he's done community service. You don't do community service for 16 fucking felonies.
Also, it's like previous community service. So
yeah, which is even weirder. So where did that shit come from?
Yeah, it's not even his current. He's not even going to have to do.
There's a leaked email in the where I think it was Kim Fox tried to ask the supporters to find examples of other people whose charges were dropped because of community service. And
how dumb are they? It's just like, don't discuss anything illegal over text. You just tell them, hey, call me when you can, call me. That's it.
Well,
anything inconspicuous, nothing that could raise any level of suspicion.
Well, doesn't the NSA
you're talking about people who are smart enough to not commit this crime in the first place?
Okay, so I found this article. Smollett damage control is laid bare. Why is it reloading this site? Laid bare in internal email from Kim Fox as she defends alternative prosecution model, but scrambles to find other previous examples to justify it. So it's kind of unprecedented if you have to go out of your way to find examples.
Oof.
The fuck is this?
Ooh.
Just oof forever.
James is a turbo normie. Ooh.
Like, what the fuck?
And a party dude. Yeah.
I'm like,
okay, I can believe the one.
Okay, one moment. Let me get rid of this bullshit that's loading all over the screen.
I'm telling you, get the Russian ad blocker. It's actually really nice.
What the fuck?
Okay, so
Apparently, I'm a turbo normie and a part. Like, what
Late and
I
gay.
can see, but still, it's like.
Late. And
Oh, okay. This isn't the political compass. This is like a different thing. Okay.
It's the
But
meme,
yeah,
it's not a
apparently
meme
I
compass.
am right here on the on this chart.
You are a turbo normie. Goodbye.
anyway, so let me, this shit. What? Which one is this? This panel content. You know what? I'll just open the Fox News because I don't want this bullshit like taking half of the screen. All right.
That point when Fox News is actually not as boomerish as the other websites.
Well, I mean, it's the other one was Daily Fail. What do you expect?
I know. It's joke books.
I mean, even
hold
Fox News
on.
is better than Daily Fail, but
Hold on, I just realized. Smaller damage control seen in internal email from Fox's office while we read on Fox News.
Yeah, but
they're basically two different companies.
It has
I know. I'm just making. It's just
Fox with two X's, so it's like Fox. Fuck you. Yeah, I already hate that.
Fox,
That
Fox,
would be
and
a
Fox.
porn
Yeah, that's
star.
pretty funny. Because Empire is a Fox network show. It's Foxception.
Okay, anyways,
It really is.
So this is the Fox. Ugh. Okay, shit defense alternative prosecution model.
What
You know
does
how
Oprah's
these
failed
lefties
clone?
were
Holy shit.
laughing at the idea of alternative facts, but now they are not laughing anymore. I wonder why.
What does the Fox say? Quit.
So, you know, Chicago. An internal email from the office of Cook County State Attorney Kim Fox, obtained by Fox News on Wednesday, asked the Assistant State Attorney to dig any examples to bolster Fox's claim that the dropped charges in the Jussie Smollett case weren't as uncommon or shocking as they seemed.
Whoops.
Okay, so let's see.
Girl.
There's this leaked email. Hello, everyone. We are looking for examples of cases felony preferable where we in our discretion exercising our discretion.
Boy, vey, the screen is rotating. What the fuck?
But exercising, is it the word exercising? I guess exercising our discretion have entered into verbal agreements with defense attorneys to dismiss charges against an offender if certain conditions were met, such as the payment of restitution, completion of community service, completion of class etc. But the defendant was not placed in a formal diversion program. Please ask your ASAs if they have examples of these types of dispositions, and we'll work with them further to figure out on what case it was done. Nobody's in trouble. We're just looking. Yeah, nobody's in trouble. Sure.
Nobody's in trouble.
How stupid can you be to put out an email like that when it's very obvious what you're doing? Like, come on.
Because you're convinced you won't get caught. And
Very.
even if you get caught, you won't. Nothing will actually happen to you.
Well, it's
Yeah, but it's going to like dozens of people who are probably pissed at Jussie Smollett. Like, come on.
That's the thing. This email.
But they all owe her favors, you know. When you.
There was no way this wouldn't be leaked. So of course.
Yeah, it's basically unwilling self-sabotage.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to tell people this about the Democrats forever. To me, it doesn't even matter whether they could find 100 cases where they had this same, disposition. Just because a case a year ago or whatever else was above board does not mean that this one was above board.
Yeah.
Shut up, retard.
Also, by the way, another thing is that not only was this where the charges dropped, but all the evidence became sealed, which is interesting. So this won't be publicized, which is really sounds like a cover-up, and really botched one, because how can you cover up such a prominent case? Of course, people will have questions. And let's see. Let's continue with this article. So the The police is pissed. The mayor is pissed, and they want Jussie to pay 130 grand.
Which I have to say, 130 grand. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, okay, 130 grand is definitely a start. See, the problem is like, like I said, they should have just let him be prosecuted and use their influence to get him a reasonable punishment, but low, like a shitload of probation, and then they could just quietly make that unsupervised and non-reporting probation.
Here's the problem.
There was people really do not. The Democrats can't old boy system to save their fucking life.
Well, here's the thing: these people react. They don't actually think about this. The reason they get away with it is because everyone is like this.
Yes. No, but
everyone's dumb, but everyone is so corrupt that it doesn't really matter.
No, the way the Republicans would, they would have even stepped in for somebody was, get him probation, get him a shitload of probation, and then after he probation, they just quietly,
James, your connection is shit.
Yeah, he's Mr. Robotoing. Jesus.
Okay, James, you'll have to reconnect and tell it again because most of what you were trying to say was just lost in transit. It was
okay, how about now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay, yeah. See, the Democrats can't old boy network to save their fucking life. See, the Republicans, the way that we would do stuff like this is we would, instead of trying to get the charges dropped because that would draw too much fucking attention, get him a shit ton of probation, like 15, 20 years of probation. That way people are going to be like, okay, at least he got a serious sentence.
It sounds like a big number.
And then
you could also have riots in the street about it. It'd be great.
Well, you know what the problem with this is?
But this is how the Republicans would do something, because getting the charges dropped is going to draw attention to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So get him probation and a fine or whatever, and just kind of let the situation go. He's been punished. People, there was no undue influence, and nobody's going to be looking at anybody. And then after the paperwork is signed, giving him probation, then the probation officer says, okay, well, I'm going to put you on unsupervised, non-reporting probation. So basically, don't get arrested, and I want to. And he just goes along.
You're breaking up again, James.
Huh?
Oh, that might have also been me.
You know what the problem with this is? I've heard somewhere that people, with felonies, they might, their travel might be impacted, so they might not be able to freely travel wherever they want.
Yeah, no, that's why you put them on unsupervised, non-reporting probation.
You know what I think actually is one of the things is because this was handled so badly. I'm kind of wondering because there was mentions of Kamala Harris and him attending her thing and everything like that. I wonder if because Obama is supporting Kamala Harris in the 2020 election, I wonder if there's any connection there.
Oh, it probably is because Kamala. Remember, recently she got her bill, to pass the bill, the anti-lynching bill that makes lynching a federal crime, which is first of all.
Wasn't lynching already illegal?
No, I think the bill was about making lynching a federal crime. Before that, it was a state crime, not federal crime. I don't know what the significance is. It was it was just a giant virtue signal, if you ask me.
And that's the thing is that it was. I can't remember if it was the bill was put through first, or if this happened and the lynching bill was. But either way, it was right there with each other. Here we have a hate crime happening to one of Kamala Harris's relatives that is tailor-made for the bill she's pushing.
Yeah, the was actually used as an example to make this bill pass, and this bill passed really quickly. And the thing is
the noggin jogging, done it, boys.
Yeah, and, Smollett went to her rally, and so yeah. Obviously, it has to do with it's not working.
Jogging, my boys.
That's the important part.
There are the
I
connections.
mean, that
Activates
doesn't
all the
necessarily
moments, huh?
mean that.
The biggest problem I see with all that shit, how they mismanaged it. They just wanted to go too fast. And, well, technically the easy way, which is the one who's going to get them in even more trouble.
By the way, the funny thing about that is also, did I mention that Obama is, used to live in Chicago and went back to Chicago after his presidential tenure? So again, there's a lot of connections. But it gets even dumber than this, because
I don't know why you would go back to Chicago, ever. Anyone.
Not all of Chicago is a shithole. Some.
Oh yeah, he goes to like he's in the cushy part.
Yeah, he's not going to go to the shitty part. Chicago is huge. It's like
I've been to Chicago. If you go to GM headquarters, which is also a hotel, it's basically its own little world. Kind of nice.
Isn't Chicago like one of the biggest cities in the U.S.?
Oh yeah, there's a ton of places that
It's a
that
pretty
you can
big city,
escape to,
yeah.
more or less.
Yeah, it's big. The problem is the town fucking declared bankruptcy.
Well, not the rich districts. So it's like.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I'm talking about.
So
also, well, anyways, doesn't matter. But by the way, there's like a Illinois Prosecutors Bar Association had something to say about this whole, shit show. They put a official statement. Let's take a look at this. So the statement about the dismissal. The Illinois Prosecutors Bar Association serves as a voice. The manner in which case was dismissed was abnormal and unfamiliar to those who practice law in criminal courthouses across the state. See, they would know that, right? Prosecutors, defense attorneys, and judges alike do not recognize the arrangement Mr. Smollett received. Even more problematic, the state's attorney and her representatives have fundamentally misled the public on the law and circumstances surrounding this dismissal. So when they said that this is normal practice, it's not. So not only is this shady, but they also lied to the public to make it seem less shady.
Oh,
surprise!
Yeah.
The public has the right to know the truth, and we set out to do that here. The shots fired. When an elected state's attorney recuses herself from a prosecution, Illinois law provides that the court shall appoint a special prosecutor. So this is the
special prosecutor. We know one.
Typically, the special prosecutor is a neighboring state's attorney, the attorney general, or the state. So usually, the special prosecutor is from a different state.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, so they can't be influenced. That's like.
Well, yeah, influence, have the less conflict of interest possible, all the things.
Yeah, so it's. And apparently this wasn't done here. So again, it's interesting already. Or the state appellate prosecutor. Here, the state attorney kept the case within her office and thus never actually recused herself as a matter of law. Yeah, but if
holy shit!
So that's already a really big red flag. I mean, if you are just passing on to one of your subordinates, are you really recusing yourself? Because you still have the influence, even if you don't directly say something. You just the fact you are
there is.
Might influence them.
You could take the cheapest, most brain-dead whore ever, and you couldn't get a blowjob as sloppy as this. This is a new level of sloppiness. That she probably would need to give you money to be able to get anywhere near this level of sloppiness.
Macho, I think I'm gonna quote you on that
one. Do it.
Yeah.
This is
apparently there's Okay, so additionally, the Cook County State Attorney's Office falsely informed the public that the uncontested sealing of the criminal court case was mandatory under Illinois law. This statement is not accurate. So again, another lie. So the fact that all the evidence in the case was sealed is another fact that shows that it's probably a cover-up.
Usually stuff like that wouldn't be sealed automatically.
So it's like it's not mandated by law, so
it's probably gonna get unsealed and
it's mighty sus.
To the extent the case was even eligible for an immediate seal, that action was discretionary, not mandatory, and only upon the proper filing of a petition to seal. Okay. The process employed in this case by the state's attorney effectively denied law enforcement agencies of a legally required notice. So they did it not how it's supposed to by the books, which is another.
So how many improprieties are you at right now? Like 4? Like 4 improprieties right now, just in like 2 paragraphs.
Yeah, I mean, basically, this is disbarment level of impropriety. At minimum, disbarment.
This is not being disbarred. This is just ripping the bar off the ground and beating her over the head with it.
True colors once again.
I wonder if some of these procedures and stuff are put in place just because of how fantastically corrupt Chicago is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
probably
really. Oh, the state's attorney not only declined to fight the sealing of this case in court, but then provided false information to the public regarding it. So the appearance of impropriety here is compounded by the fact that this case was not on the regularly scheduled court call. The public had no reasonable notice of opportunity to view these proceedings, and the dismissal was done abruptly at what was being called an emergency hearing. Again, why so? Why the emergency hearing?
Why so?
Why the rush? I mean, again, this is really, not only is it suspicious, but also they should have probably not rushed it, because when it's rushed like that, it only makes it even more suspicious.
Well, I mean, I think they were just trying to get it done before it leaks, basically.
Yeah, probably before it leaks and before the case is over, because this is open and shut.
They were probably hoping that the Mueller report would have said something, so they thought they could get away with all this bullshit and no one would notice. I honestly think that.
Yeah, the timing it was like, probably.
It's like, aren't you guys focused on Mueller? Oh,
shit.
Oops.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Like when you catch children going for the cookie jar and you've been standing there the whole time in the dark, and you turn on the light suddenly, and they're like halfway out of the room with the jar.
We did an oopsie.
Yeah, it's about that level.
Yeah, so it's okay. The sealing of a court case immediately following a hearing where there was no reasonable notice of opportunity for the public to attend. Huh?
Close.
Hello?
You said something?
Oh, I was talking about Pain. I'm sorry.
Huh.
Oh no, I was talking to Broken Heart when he had his fucking echo.
This
I
is
think
when he was talking in the well.
I think he's really in some great hole.
No. That's
he was in the
definitely a
well.
Windows effect. It's Windows being stupid.
Well, in my what is called the head canon, he's in a great hole.
That's
more epic than the Windows effect.
Isn't that well?
I'm in my palace, obviously.
He's in a well, and he needs us to rescue him from it.
I mean, especially like Trump being president, and you're going to say that this is MAGA country, come out your attacker's mouth, and think that think that there's not going to be a group of people dedicated to following what you had for lunch while discussing the case.
Oh, yeah. Well, this shit, if they thought that this would fly under the radar, well, they're retarded, obviously.
This is like, I don't know. I don't know what I could compare this to.
Yeah, lastly, the state's attorney.
I mean, it's like this reminds me of a conversation. This reminds me of a conversation with an Army Ranger that was a friend of my dad. That he said camouflage is not the concept of the concept is not the concept of hiding. The concept of camouflage is not being seen.
Yeah,
or recognized,
not
which is what
drawing attention to yourself.
Yeah, blend into the background.
Or just not to be recognized as what you are. They still see you, they just don't know that you're you.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's actually the point of
the concept of camouflage is to not be seen.
Well,
that's the point of a lot of military makeup, like in the jungle. It's like it's not supposed to make you look like a tree. It's supposed to break up the outline of your face.
Well,
so
actually,
they can't recognize you.
Wait, no. If it's a camouflage, it's actually supposed to make you look like something you are not. But breaking up the silhouette, it's called razzle dazzle, and it was used in like before radars became available. It was used for Navy ship, for battleships.
Yeah,
So
but it's also
because
used for some jungle camo as well.
Camouflage a ship in the sea because it's there's no way to camouflage it. But if you make the break the silhouette and it becomes hard to estimate the distance to the ship, and that's why it's hard to aim because when you with great distances you have to know the distance to adjust the aim because ships don't stay in one spot all the time. By breaking up the silhouette, it makes it much harder to aim. But when radars became commonplace, nobody uses this anymore because it's kind of pointless. But it's not the same as camouflage.
There's some limited application of that in soldier level camo, but let's continue.
Anyways, yeah, let's continue. So, state attorney has claimed that arrangement is available to all defendants and not a new or unusual practice. There has been an implication that it was done in accordance with a statutory diversion program. These statements are plainly misleading and inaccurate. This action was highly unusual, not a statutory diversion program, and not in accordance with the well-accepted practices of state attorneys initiated diversionary programs. So, like, every statement was false.
Wrong.
I mean, this right here is just
You're
Barbara
wrong.
Streisand effect.
You're wrong.
Like, straight up.
You're wrong.
The IPBA supports diversion programs and recognizes that the many benefits, blah, blah, blah. The defendant central to any diversion program, however, is that the defendant must accept responsibility, which Smollett didn't, as we'll see later, because he now claims that he's innocent, even though nobody else says that.
Well, going back to what Macho said, this is so sloppy that they can't even get Smollett on the same fucking page.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his lawyer was sitting there and saying, "Well, it's not clear who did the attack," and he's in an interview saying, "That's them."
That's them, and then she said, "Oh, maybe they were wearing white face."
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Oh, the stupidity never ends. Okay.
This is so sloppy. A blowjob this sloppy, I would pay for it to end.
Prosecutors must be held to the highest standard of legal ethics in the pursuit of justice. The actions of the Cook County State's attorney have fallen woefully short of this expectation. Through their repeated misleading and deceptive statements, the public of Illinois law and circumstances surrounding the Smollett dismissal, the state attorney has failed in her most fundamental ethics obligation to the public. The IPBA condemns these actions. This irregular arrangement was an effort to affront to prosecutors across the state, the Chicago Police Department, victims of hate crimes, and the people of the city of Chicago and Cook County. We strongly encourage our members and the public to review the National District Attorneys Association statement on prosecutorial best practices in high-profile cases.
Ouch.
Rufus, President, Illinois Prosecutors Bar Association. Now that's
pretty damning.
Your daddy's a bitch. Your sister's a bitch, and your mama's a hoe.
Yeah.
Or no, I got that backwards. Your dad is a hoe.
So
TLDR there.
Is she the one giving the blowjob?
Probably.
No, I think that was an iced tea insult. It's your mama's a bitch, your sister's a bitch, and your daddy's a hoe. TLDR, that takedown by the bar.
Let's check out this article because okay, so earlier President Trump tweeted that the FBI and the Department of Justice would review this outrageous case, calling it an embarrassment to the country. Prosecutors infuriated Mayor Rahm Emanuel and Chicago Police's chief this week when they abruptly dropped 16 felony counts that accused Smollett of making false police reports about being the target of racist anti-gay attack in January. Smollett has maintained his innocence and insisted that the attack was real. Oh, let's watch this because you can see that this is lying. This fucker is lying.
If you're not going to pursue a case, you usually don't charge it. You don't make.
Oh, it's not this video because there was a video of him saying it. You can see when he's saying truth and when he's lying, his body language changes a lot.
Glebs, if I had to add something, What's the point of even being an actor when you can you can make just about the same amount as being a professional victim?
Well, I mean, he's not a good actor at all.
Well,
maybe.
maybe he wanted to branch out.
No, he
One time,
please. Because when he was on stage, sitting there talking about how, I fought back. I'm the gay Tupac. I almost believe that he actually.
And then there were black people on Twitter saying, "But Tupac went to jail, nigga."
Yeah. Well, first of all, that and so
he actually looked like he believed it.
Macho, you were saying?
Well, it's like, the gay Tupac. Well, yeah, Tupac went to jail. Tupac killed people, probably. What a shit ton of things he did. So I wouldn't be proud of that.
Tupac got shot and died. So
Also,
emulate, go right the fuck ahead.
Hey, well, yeah, no, I don't want you to. I don't want Black Lord to go to jail just for saying that. In the off case that somebody finds it, it's like, you want to be the gay Tupac? You just pick a gun and rack it. I can arrange that.
In Minecraft.
He's looking up for me.
I disavow.
Oh, by the way, speaking of, let's just.
Well, first, look, Jussie Smollett is safe. He's not in New Zealand and not in a mosque. There.
This part was just like as the NAACP. Why in the fuck's name would you do this? Oh my god!
Why not? It's not like they're gonna get in trouble for it.
And this is the award is like image award. Oh yeah, because such a great image.
Great image of some guy who faked a hate crime against himself only to get off through political connections.
Hey, they were
what a great image.
For a while by a woman who faked being black.
Well,
no, let him.
Maybe
let
they're
him
just
win.
happy that a black guy finally got away with it.
Oh yeah, because that's pretty much what Anthony Anderson said. Because he was asked, and he says, "I hope he wins. I'm happy for him that the system worked for him in his favor, because the system isn't always fair." Well, you don't say, especially for people of color. So I'm glad it worked out.
Holy shit!
He's glad.
Yeah, he literally said that.
He's glad that he played the fucking system
like a $3 banjo is.
You know, these same type of people bitch and moan for 2 years about Trump getting away with it, and then we have a blatant case about this, and they are happy. Like, the double standard is real.
Well,
I was about to say, so should Trump get some kind of image award now that he was exalted?
Yeah, I mean, he is a man of color. I mean, you see his fucking face.
Yeah,
in the 80s, I think Trump got an NAACP award. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he might have.
At
Yeah.
one point, the NAACP praised Trump actually
for giving so many job opportunities to black people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a really interesting history there. Funny how
now
that
he's
whole
just
thing
some
disappeared
evil
when
racist.
one Indonesian immigrant.
Yeah, but now we still got worse journalists like Don Lemon going around every night claiming he's a racist and he appeals to racists. And this isn't a subject to debate; it's established fact.
Even his multiple boyfriends are getting tired of him saying that.
Jussie Smollett?
Honey, not in bed.
So apparently,
Jussie Smollett appeals to racists. I could.
By the way,
I could get behind that statement.
But by the way, the funny thing is that I just looked up what kind of award Trump received, and you know how Trump is literally Hitler, because he received humanitarian award by the National Jewish Health and Tree of Life award by the Jewish National Fund.
Ooh.
And people claim he's an anti-Semite. Why? Because
yeah,
the guy.
He has a Jewish daughter, for fuck's sake. Like, come on.
He may be.
His daughter is his son-in-law who should have gone to jail.
Yeah, this is like
Kushner's family is like an
he,
entire family of criminals. It's actually sickening that they're involved.
If he's an anti-Semite, he really has a hard time passing the message to the Jews.
Oh, yeah, in 2017, he got the Friends of Zion award by the Friends of Zion Museum.
Ooh.
Yeah, no,
Now
that's the thing. When it comes to being anti-Semitic, if you are in the business world, you do not reach the levels of success that Donald Trump has being based in New York fucking City if you are anti-Semitic.
True.
He probably had a bunch of he probably has a large number of Jewish business partners.
Yeah, and I don't think his lawyer or his accountant, if they are Jew, they would have helped him if he was this anti-Semite.
If you say that, like it's not.
I say if. I say if because I don't know if they are. So if I knew it as a matter of fact, I wouldn't say if.
Okay, so we need to bring this up real quick. So Donald back in the day used to be a Democrat. He then flip-flopped to being a Republican, and then became a Democrat again, and then he's now a Republican.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say that Donald Trump is an enlightened centrist more than anything else.
Well, he probably most likely knew that he would fare better as a anti-establishment, so he flopped to the opposite of the current president at the time.
I could actually see him being.
The fact is, had he been going up against Hillary for the Democratic nomination, we saw what happens to anybody that ran up against Hillary to get the Democratic nomination.
Well, there's that, but really, he really had an advantage by being a Republican after Obama.
Well, again, you have to kind of realize how far the Overton window has shifted in decades, because people pointed out, maybe calling Donald Trump an alt-centrist it probably isn't as accurate as it may seem, because considering how a lot of the talking points he brings up now were Democrat talking points in like the 90s, and you can pretty much say the Republicans are basically now are the Democrats of 30 years ago.
No.
I'd say pretty much if I had any large knowledge but from what I know, it's pretty accurate.
There was this video where it shows was Clinton and Obama saying stuff about how we need to build a wall in the border, and clips of Trump listening.
How building a wall was good, how gay marriage was awful.
Yep.
Except that's the one thing Trump never said, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trump.
He's always been.
Yeah. Well, he either wasn't especially for or never really gave a shit. Yeah, basically.
That's the thing. People actually went back like 20, 30 fucking years on Donald Trump's statements on things. He actually is the first president who has been openly pro-LGBTQ forever. Like, he did not switch to being pro-whatever for the presidency. They went back 30 fucking years, and he was supporting gay rights. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, a year before she announced candidacy, marriage is a man and a woman. It's a sacred bond.
Yeah, she didn't come out in favor of gay marriage publicly until as recent as like 2013. I mean, that's pretty late, especially for even going by Democrats. And
it's almost as late as Ralph. Jesus.
And see, what was sad about Hillary is when she did the "I support gay marriage" or whatever, acting like she's always supported it. Had she had the integrity to say, I realize I used to have this position, but I realize now that I was coming from a place of fear, and that I have realized that human rights, some sort of owning up to even having held the position before.
The empathy firmware is incompatible with Hillary Bot.
Well, the thing is,
if that's a shirt, I want it.
Well, the thing about this is that her fans, they never fact check, and since they get the news from leftist rags, so they would never know about this to begin with. Remember this video where someone went around the campus and asked who said this, and everyone thought it was like Donald Trump's quotes, but all of them were actually Hillary Clinton's quotes, and those students were just shocked and oh, she said that, really?
Yeah, I want that picture.
No, that's a shirt I want.
Yeah. Oh, I love the one where the woman was like holding the sign that says, that we want the same rights as guns, and like, so you want to be banned from public buildings? You want to have you want to have somebody?
Oh, I
have
did
to
a
get
video
back-
on that.
I remember that video.
I did a video on that. It's basically torture testing pistols. If you want to play at clubs.
Yeah, it's only like a minute long. Bring it up.
Anyways, but let's see this, because this is where this Jussie Smollett story gets even more retarded. So, Nigerian brothers may have been wearing a white face during attack.
Oh yeah, this.
They should. If they were, they should have gone the easy way and just wear the balaclava.
Well, they were wearing ski masks, but under the ski mask there was a white face.
Yeah, and they also showed the Joker makeup that one of the brothers wore for a costume, and like
Yeah, and he was like reenacting that scene with the girl, except it was his other brother, and it's all it's
I have this video which was used like as evidence, quote unquote. Yeah. Can I open it?
Yep.
Fuck, I probably. Let's try this. No, it doesn't want to play in the browser. One moment, let me get the link. So this is YouTube.com.
Sorry, everyone. Boomer moment.
Damn, son. Are you wearing sunglasses right now?
Nah. I'm avoiding.
Well, you're not boomer enough, then.
I am drinking Monster Ultra, so.
Okay, so the video is really quiet. Let me boost the volume.
Fuck.
oh yeah, he totally looks like a white guy in that.
Idiot.
How about a lie? Hmm? I don't know how I got these scars. My father.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
It looks like the opening to a bad gay porn.
Yeah, it really does.
Maybe to it.
And one night.
But look at this perfect impersonation of a white man.
Let's say, even wearing that shit on his face, he still looks blacker than Smollett himself. What the fuck is he
actually
talking
does.
about?
He actually really does. It just looks like he's been out in the sun for a while. Got super ashy. It just looks like he's ashy.
Yeah, he.
Oh god, that looks like that looks like it's from a gay porn.
He smeared some white ash.
Oh yeah,
from,
Ricardo actually has a YouTube channel now.
Oh my god, no matter what.
Yeah, he does.
Freeze it off.
He's a Let's player now. It's great.
Bitch, where is it?
Why so serious?
I have to look that up.
I will never see that.
And the camera goes out of focus.
Oh, why?
Wow. Even the camera don't want to see this shit.
Turns to me. And he says, why so serious? He comes at me with the knife. Why so serious? He sticks the blade in my mouth. Let's smile.
He still says it with the Ebonics accent. Shit, fucking hell.
He does.
Yeah. Now it's American, it's African American vernacular English. Ebonics is a slur. I remember when they were demanding that Ebonics be the official title.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's a no-win scenario.
That's a
It's
fucking
just...
name, and it's pretty clear what it is. So even if it's a slur, I'm still gonna use that word to classify this horrifying language of the English language.
I remember back in the 80s when the people who came up with trying to actually get ghetto talk as an official language that they could actually put on school papers and everything. And they were demanding that it be called Ebonics because it was Ebony Phonics.
Well, again, James, the thing is, they're always going to change it on you.
I mean, how many times Have they changed the name of what mentally retarded is?
There's idiot. There's moron. There was
imbecile.
It's
mentally
right.
challenged.
Well, no, but it's right. At first, it was idiot. That meant that you were really mentally retarded.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Idiot.
what's called the euphemism treadmill. People just keep coming up with euphemisms, and you keep trying to ban them, and it just keeps going around. It just there's no end to it.
Yeah, because I remember when I was playing what was it, Red Dead Redemption 2. At some point, the guy is like, "Oh, just don't speak. We're just gonna say you're an idiot." It's like, oh my god, it's like, oh no, don't anger my brother. His mother paid the price. It's like Jesus Christ, that's really retarded at that time. It's just call someone an idiot.
Dude, and nowadays it's autist. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah, well, no, it's not as much as that. Now it's just really fucking retarded.
Yeah, anyways, let's take a look at this video because this is
through that lens that they were trying to catch him as soon as he got home, as opposed to if this was at 2 a.m., you got there 40 minutes early.
According to the court records, Smollett was very clear with police on the night of the attack that his attackers were white. He said they had masks on and gloves, but he saw their eyes and he saw the skin surrounding their eyes. Was that a false statement?
So just to be clear, he only saw one of the attackers. One of them he didn't see. He saw one through a ski mask. Again, he could not see their body. Everything was covered, and he had a full ski mask on except the area around the eyes. He did tell police that from what he saw, he thought it was pale skin or white or pale skin was, I think, what he said. And that was and that's why he initially did have a hard time.
Why did he say that? He could have said, I don't know.
He could have, but this, again, he's being
truthful. But if it's the Osendyro brothers, what are the chances that that's the case, that he saw somebody with light skin?
Well, I mean, I think obviously you can disguise that. You could put makeup on. There is actually, interestingly enough, a video. I think police did minimal investigation in this case. It took me all of 5 minutes to Google. I was looking up the brothers, and one of the first videos that showed up actually was one of the brothers in whiteface doing a Joker monologue with white makeup on. And so it's not implausible.
Couple quick things. He said that these individuals were yelling at him, these homophobic and racist smears. Why didn't he recognize their voices? He had literally just hung up with one of them.
Well, I want to commend NPC News for actually not softballing this. They actually asked me the real questions.
I just want to ask, how do you come up with such a dumb explanation? You could just said maybe he was mistaken. It's the simplest solution ever that could potentially get him free.
Wait, hold on, Macho. The problem is, though, you have to remember in that interview, he specifically said, "I know those two shadowy figures are the ones that did it." So he was sure. Then he wasn't so sure. Now he went back and forth. Like, he screwed himself over because he was very specific on that.
Also, not only that, but there's a video of them buying all the supplies in the store called Crafty Beaver.
The same. It's just they bought everything in the same store. I don't know. Did they buy with card?
No, I think they did cash.
Like 40 minutes before well, maybe a couple hours before the.
It's just buy them on different days, on different store in a different town, all cash. And also do it way before so that people can't link it. It's like, hey, have you sold the rope in the last 24 hours? It's like, oh yeah, we did.
I like this Operation Crafty Beaver.
Ooh.
No, but see, one of the problems is that what they didn't realize is every step of the way they were being video recorded. So the police just followed the trail of video.
They literally, Jussie had pointed out a camera to the brothers. It's like, oh yeah, we need it. It's like there's tape of them. It's like there is literally no plausible deniability in all of it in its entirety.
Oh,
but by the way, can we also illustrate how badly they did this? Is like the moment that they wanted to get video recorded, like him getting beaten, was the only part of the video that they didn't get.
The camera was recording, and the fact that Jussie knew where the camera was, but didn't know that the camera didn't work. That's really, really funny. So
well, there's also the fact that he never is like maybe he could have gotten beaten up like for real, like really giving him a black eye. Like those guys could have seriously messed him up, even if they were holding back. So just like, yeah, just even if you break a rib, it's like, hey, it's gonna legitimize it. I say. Also, it's like supposedly those super racist two white guys weren't able to kill a man in 45 seconds and didn't finish the job. It's like, what?
I want to know how it is that they were able to keep bleach liquid at those temperatures.
Also, it's also the so stupid thing. It's like, okay, so those supposedly super racist guys were so motivated to nearly hang the fucker, to hang out at 2 a.m. in the coldest weather we've seen in decades, but weren't motivated enough to finish the job. Or just to hurt him in any serious way.
Oh, because Jussie had such a great fight that they ran away because he fought valiantly.
Well, I mean, he fought so well that
apparently they had the noose around his neck, so it wasn't really far from it. The end wasn't really that far.
He
if they really wanted.
Noticed the noose until he got home and was on the phone with his agent.
Not with the police, mind you.
Oh, he actually was on the phone. He talked to these brothers on the phone before the attack.
So an hour. They spoke an hour long before the attack and after the attack.
You know,
I mean, also remember he was so quote good at fighting that he didn't even lose his Subway fucking sandwich.
All right, that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh, boy.
That's right, motherfucker. That's right.
Oh.
No, motherfucker.
Let's finish this video.
Sure. I mean, people see this as if this is a regular interaction. I mean, if you're walking in the street and somebody screams, you turn around and before you can even process what they look like, you've been punched in the face, and now next thing you're on the floor and you're being kicked. I mean, this is not a regular. This is a very brief interaction. You know, all of 30 to 45 seconds with your head being thrown around by punches, and so this isn't somebody who's digesting what's happening. I mean, this is there's excitement and fear and all of these things happening.
Well, I'm sure there was excitement. I mean, how can she even say this shit with a straight face? Look.
Well, she's a lawyer. She literally she got literally teached it.
She's literally paid UBS for a while.
Also remember that he went through like what? This is his third lawyer because he was gonna have one, then he fired that one, then he had another one, fired that one, and then came with her or something like that.
Yeah, the second one was because he was the one involved with Avenatti.
I thought that was the first one. I don't know.
No,
anyway, the other thing is, I think
the first one I think was the Michael something Gorkedo or whatever his name is.
If you go through a lot of lawyers,
fuss about
it's telling.
Yeah,
I'll be right back because this is not this topic is not over because there's another article on the topic. But I'll grab a coffee. I'll be right back.
Are we just gonna marathon this whole thing tonight? Just fucking talking about Jussie Smollett.
This next one will be the last one on the topic because just there's so much to talk about. I mean, this shit show of this year. It's not even April yet.
It'll be April in 2 days.
Yeah.
Well, technically a day because he lives several hours away.
Yeah.
You guys in Europe, you know, April's already closer to you than it is to us. It's 9 p.m. here where I am.
Yeah, it's the future.
By the way, the YouTube channel Actual Justice Warrior actually did a very good video on this lawyer because he interspersed the interview with Jussie Smollett saying like, you know, I want to prosecute these people, and then showing how this lawyer is like, oh well, we don't actually want to prosecute them. Like basically, as soon as they're found to be black, then well, maybe we shouldn't prosecute. We need to like sweep this on the rug really fast.
Yeah.
With friends like these, that's all I can say.
Yup.
With friends like this, hell needs enemies, right?
Yeah.
I can also say that Jussie Smollett is not only the O.J. Simpson of the 21st century, he's also the Denzel Washington of the 21st century because of that he did. I mean, doing your own hate crime.
Yeah.
Victim of his own crime.
That sounds like that could sound that sounds like an actually good movie.
Someone should make a movie out of this, but I doubt
anyone would have the balls to.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, nobody in Hollywood's gonna make.
He could
this
probably
movie.
sue for defamation and probably have a good case for it.
Well, unless he gets convicted.
Yeah,
If he gets
I mean,
convicted, he's got no case.
it probably
I
would
mean,
come out for
on
a
the
while.
federal stuff.
I know, like people were pointing out. All right, you know the Chappaquiddick movie that came out like last year, I think it was.
A blonde in every pond.
Not sure on that one.
All right. You do know about Chappaquiddick and everything, right?
I don't think no.
Okay,
Ted
in the summer, in the summer of 1969, Ted Kennedy was drunk driving off Martha's Vineyard in the area of Chappaquiddick.
Oh,
drove
okay.
off the bridge and then left the girl to die.
Kind of. Oh, okay. What, his secretary or something, right?
Yeah. Okay. The point being was that movie came out last year, like 10 years after Ted Kennedy had been dead. People were pointing out that movie could have never been made while he was still alive.
Yeah, probably not.
So we'll have to wait until Jussie Smollett dies for that movie to be made.
Possibly, unless he find out he actually did do it and he gets convicted, someone will probably make a movie then. Otherwise, they'll probably just make the best we could probably get until then. Will probably be like, oh well, here's a movie based off, loosely inspired by some people's belief on what happened in this. Maybe.
I mean, even then, I think they, in order to do like legally, I think they wouldn't even mention Jussie Smollett. It just like happened to happen in Chicago or some shit.
Inspired by
true events of a non-named story, but everybody knows exactly what it is.
Inspired by or whatever else. They may end up just doing a black gay actor attacked in some small town.
I mean, the thing is, though, to be honest, it'd be a pretty boring story, though. I feel like.
I can see Michael B. Jordan playing as Jussie Smollett.
Yeah.
I mean, because the thing is, like, well, us talking about it and all these events and stuff like that, it's a circus, but like as an actual movie, I don't know if it would actually be a good movie.
I mean, how many times do you actually would they actually do make movies based off of real or interesting people, and they still have to embellish it because it'd be kind of just too boring to.
Wouldn't, especially if people made a movie out of all this, wouldn't it be like a reverse To Kill a Mockingbird?
Maybe.
I got all the good references. It's just.
All right, are you gonna keep going with that?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Oh, Gladys is back.
Oh, Gladys, you already saw it, so you might as well show it to the rest of the guys.
Well, let's. Oh, the image.
Yeah.
Well, all right. It's related to the other soap advert I showed. Soap is in the pad. The new improved. Oh.
Now I'm having flashbacks to remember, like a couple months back, we were showing like these racist commercials on, or what people would consider racist commercials that they air on China.
Oh yeah,
like,
that was fun.
I remember that one.
Good
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? I was checking out YouTube, and one of my and the following video after this one is a Timcast article on Jussie Smollett about how he's not innocent. Yeah.
So let's check out this because apparently, when charges were dropped, the Empire Twitter account tweeted that yes, something about how they are glad about this outcome, and apparently their ratings are now in the toilet. So.
Well, I thought it was something like "see you soon" or something like that. Didn't they,
see
you people weren't happy at all. Like, show ratings plummet to an all-time low as outraged fans turn off after Jussie Smollett had hoax hate crime charges dropped despite prosecutors saying he is guilty.
Man, this nigga can't even go to jail.
So Empire doing just
sucks.
4 million viewers on Wednesday, smallest audience ever.
Can't even hang himself, right?
Hey, nigga.
Damn, son.
Exactly.
Let's check it out. Empire's rating dropped to all-time low on Wednesday night as fans boycotted the show in the outrage over Jussie Smollett outcome. Yeah, the show returned after a
So that means they were watching the show despite him. Amazing.
I actually heard that show's ratings went down, which is strange because isn't it mostly black people who watch that show anyway?
Yeah, something's fishy there, ain't it?
The thing about this is
Are there any hot women on that show? Maybe that's why they watch. I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't woke enough. Maybe it's just
yeah. I mean, there's lots of possibilities.
Maybe they watch it because Lena Dunham isn't on it.
There's that too.
That would be the big. That would be like a big point in any show's favor is Lena Dunham does not get naked.
Yeah,
I'd rather not.
No Amy Schumer.
Please,
well, yeah, just no Amy Schumer at all. Not just like, oh, Amy Schumer doesn't get naked. No, that would be something I would pay a show for not to happen.
We already had PTSD. We already got PTSD from the Lena Dunham picture. So.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam.
Yeah, I'm
Driver
glad I
took
never
these
saw
medications
those.
just to not want to neck himself. Jesus.
Yeah.
Didn't Amy Schumer break up with her weight scale?
Woo!
No, she wrote out the scale.
No, she broke it up.
So there's the tweets of people who don't like this bullshit. Okay. Soon after Smollett's charges were dropped on Tuesday morning, Fox issued a statement to say it was gratified by the outcome, but it has said nothing since. Meanwhile, the very prosecutors who dropped the case have spoken out to say they believe Smollett is guilty, and the city's mayor has billed him for 130 grand, the amount that was spent in police overtime investigation. The president has declared it is an outrageous embarrassment, and the state's attorney office behind the decision is facing federal probe. It's a glorious shit show. Politicians in Illinois have also proposed cutting Empire's 30% tax credit if they keep Smollett in the cast.
Oh shit! Okay.
Oh wow!
Damn, son. Where'd you find this?
Wow.
Representative Michael McAuliffe announced the bill on Tuesday that he said would apply to any production which hires Smollett in Illinois. Oh shit!
Well, it's official. This show is cursed.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to get canceled soon.
Well, this is a tweet. Jussie Smollett has always maintained his innocence. Yeah, he didn't do nothing. He was a good boy. And
Yeah,
he
he
testified that
Didn't do nothing.
Well, shit. You
He's
might
gonna
as well
do the-
say you're
do
guilty.
the
It's not like
poker
they're
boy
gonna
thing,
they're gonna charge you again. They have the evidence and they still
Well,
can't charge you. You might as well
No, I
do it
think
now.
you can be charged
Don't
again,
say
but
that
if you're
because
acquitted.
they might,
The
they
thing
might
is,
as well just do.
legally speaking, I think they can refile. From what I understand.
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah,
because
that's
it
true,
was
because he actually was
refile.
charged with
they are
everything.
fully empowered to go and refile it again because
They can-
because it was never adjudicated.
Yeah, it's not double jeopardy or anything like that.
Had they actually
Surprise,
just decided to go full corruption and have him not guilty, then yeah, they could have washed it under the carpet. But
Well,
because they never prosecuted it, he's fucked.
Glebs, I have to ask something. Most TV shows aim thoughts. outside anything by Seth MacFarlane don't really last more than 2 seasons. They'd be lucky if they last 4.
Well, how many seasons have they been going?
1?
I think a couple at least.
No, they've been around for a little bit. Because I remember hearing about Empire like years ago.
Yeah, it's been on for a while.
Shit.
Yeah, let's check out what's next. He, like the mayor, this politician, what was his name? Representative Michael McAuliffe. Yeah, that's the guy. He, like the mayor of Chicago, huh?
I think. Okay, I'm checking out the pronunciation. Olive.
Oh, Olive. Okay, so this guy.
This dude.
So he, like the mayor of Chicago and local cops, is outraged by prosecutors' decision to drop the charges against Smollett and believes he should be held accountable for allegedly staging a hoax attack. Yeah. Where the city of Chicago is concerned, Jussie Smollett is far from exonerated. While the state's attorney has chosen not to pursue justice in this case, we need to send a message that Smollett's actions are not a reflection of the values we have in Chicago and won't be tolerated.
It's on its 4th season, by the way, right now. It started in January 2015.
I was going to say, it's been around for a bit.
Right, 4
For
years.
20th Century Fox did not respond to Daily Mail's inquiries on Thursday. Well, at least they don't talk about this anymore because...
Jussie Smollett's a Disney princess, that's right.
This tweet was really, really bad idea because people didn't like it at all. They should have kept their mouths shut. A spokesman, when Smollett was arrested, the network said it has excluded him from filming the final 2 episodes of the show. He had already filmed several which are currently being aired. The show wrapped last month and it has not been renewed or cancelled. On Tuesday morning, the writers tweeted smugly about Smollett's outcome. He maintains that he's innocent. Yeah. Oh, and the courthouse hearing, I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I've been accused. Nobody else says that he's...
Well, considering the amount of infidelity in those communities, that's probably not the wisest thing you could have said, boy.
Well, that's the funniest thing. That even the prosecutors who made drop the charges, even they say that he's guilty. I would not bring my family, our lives, or the movement through the fire like this. I just wouldn't. Yeah, sure. Like you brought.
Well, he wouldn't.
Sure, you wouldn't. You fucking liar.
I wouldn't because I just did it.
You shouldn't.
Well, no, but the other thing is he wouldn't because he didn't think he was gonna get caught. So of course he quote wouldn't.
True.
Well, yeah. Would you get in trouble again if you knew you were gonna get caught? No.
He brought dishonor to the family.
Shame of her display.
Shame.
Dishonor upon you. Dishonor upon your cow.
Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your motherfucking cow. Bitch.
Tell me I'm not the only one that's actually watching Mulan.
A judge granted their motion and now it has been stricken from record, meaning none of the evidence police say they gathered against him will ever become public. Well, unless
unless they refile, unless they refile, which I am 100% sure they will.
We'll just have to wait
media
and
outlets
see.
have lobbied the court to unseal the records, as has Mayor Rahm Emanuel and the Chicago Police Superintendent. Oh, it's like, oh, that's the end of the article. Yeah, it's the end of the article. Oh, this is don't worry, MSNBC will have a job for you. So yeah, that's the thing. This is a fucking shit show. I mean,
definitely.
I hope that
we all know it
on a roll because they fucking should.
I mean, it's pretty telling.
Hello?
God damn it.
This is going well.
Hey, Andy.
I shouldn't have jinxed it saying that nobody has audio issues.
Andy, you were saying?
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I don't. dropped out. No, a show like this that hasn't been renewed, and this happening in its fourth season is basically a death sentence, because usually very rarely shows get renewed when it's April or May. So it's basically a death sentence.
Yeah, that
I'll
would
be
kinda
really
fucking late
surprised.
for it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna renew
They
it
didn't know
after
by
the
now
season
they're
finale,
probably not getting renewed.
yeah, and I mean, usually they wait until they have if they're unsure on a series. Sometimes they're renew, but it's like 30-40% of the time. And if a show like this doesn't get the numbers, I mean, it's almost like a death sentence if the numbers are declining.
Yeah, they would
as
know
hell.
before the season ends if they're getting renewed.
Yeah, most likely, yeah. But there are a few cases where it isn't. But
That's extremely
if
rare, those cases you're talking about.
By the way,
hello, Biden.
Yeah. Now, our next topic, before we talk about the issue, let's talk about this.
Speaking of cursed,
Joe Biden.info website.
And now he just got Me Too'd.
Yeah.
So how
it's a very good
long
website.
enough. Oh, Biden's
Wait.
actually been accused finally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
the deal.
Glebs. But by the way, on my Twitter, there's a Vox says, "Oh, the media gave him a pass for years."
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
shit.
actually
They gave him a
video
pass
of
for
him
years.
fondling little girls during swearing-in ceremonies.
Like, I mean, saying that the media gave him a pass, that means the media is guilty of covering this shit up. That's
They-
what Vox literally said.
Covered for the Democrats and softballed them and everything for fucking years.
It's
Everybody
funny how
knows.
Vox is all of a sudden trying to be, as if they didn't do this. I mean, well, first of all, maybe Vox was too busy covering up their own employees being degenerates. Because remember, they had to cancel, like last year, they had to cancel open bar at the New Year ceremony because they were afraid that their woman respecters would get, drunk and start molesting their female staff.
yeah, they'd unleash their little triggers, if you know what I mean.
But yeah, this website, joebiden.info. Uncle Joe is back and ready to take a hands-on approach to America's problems. Joe Biden has a good feel for the American people and knows exactly He's happy to open up and reveal himself to voters and will give a pounding to anybody who gets in his way.
Oh, is this the actual website? Okay,
No.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, I was going to say, oh my God, it would be so beautiful if this was his
but
official
James.
website with that copy on there.
No, but
But
James,
yeah,
apparently
dude.
the hands-on approach thing is an actual quote, though.
Well, he's been doing that for years, so at least we know that's not a lie. At least for once, for a politician, this is, well, I wouldn't say good news, but it's fresh.
News.
Good news, everyone.
I mean, you got the first mainstream African American who is articulated, bright, and clean and nice looking guy.
Yeah.
You forgot they left out the best
Is
part.
that a quote? Is that a quote from '90s Biden?
Yeah, and
no,
that's the thing, is,
2007.
like the only reason why Obama survived through his presidency was because of Biden.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who wanted to try to assassinate Obama realized they were that close to having President Biden in office, and that's why they backed the fuck down.
But
Like,
for that,
seriously, that's why.
So
That's actually why
basically
Biden.
then.
No, like Biden actually officially took Stacey Abrams as his vice presidential choice because he realized he needs somebody to keep him alive.
well, the best part, they actually left out the best part of the quote for that one because after he says that's clean, that's bright and clean and nice looking guy, they left out right when he's after that he says that's a storybook, man.
Labs.
Hmm?
Wasn't there something on that page that I found that said, Joe has the big stick?
I was like, this. I promise you, the president has a big stick.
Yeah, hang on.
Well,
Yeah, he's hang on.
Oh God.
Oh, there's the video. All right.
Interesting. The broad international coalition we've built. Now is the time to heed the timeless advice from Teddy Roosevelt. Speak softly and carry a big stick. End of quote. I promise you, the president has a big stick.
Yeah, by bombing a bunch of poor Muslim countries and shit like that. Yeah.
He knew exactly what he was doing with that.
I promise you that.
Was that a dick joke?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
He
it was.
unwittingly made a dick joke.
Oh no, he did it entirely intentionally.
I'm sure it was on purpose. It had to have been on
Yeah,
purpose.
it's blatantly on purpose. It's a good one. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
I mean, the original quote was from a man with a 10-inch dick, but that's besides the point.
Maybe this stick is the big stick.
I just dropped a link below for other Biden.
If I could actually find that, I would buy that at that price. Just just because.
Just got my very own Obama. Now you give that to a Russian, and then then now you could say, hey, the Russians own Obama.
That's okay. This audio volume is too low.
Sex joke at a race convention. That's it.
I wonder how the hell my parents did it, but that's a different story.
Well, with these two folks that you're about to meet, if you haven't already, there's no doubt about them staying oiled and lubricated here. He's one crazy son of a gun. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. Anybody wants to help?
I mean, he's right, but you're not supposed to say that out loud.
Oh my God!
Every one of these clips is going to come out during the election. Oh God, yes.
They're not going to care. They're going to just call it quaint.
Help me unload. Now, for you who are not full Irish in this room, lubricated has a different meaning for us all. The president has.
It wasn't.
Wait, hold on. He explained the joke. You don't explain the joke.
That's an alcohol joke.
That's a different form of the joke. He was hiding the joke by using another racial joke.
Well, apparently, I think he meant by lubricated just being drunk.
No.
What
What he meant by oiled and lubricated is because black people need to constantly oil themselves because they get ashy skin and their hair gets dry.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I thought he meant,
No. It was really blatantly about the fact that they're black.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought he called them all faggots.
Well, I probably did that too, knowing him. But
well, probably did that in private at least.
But no, seriously, black people get ashy, and to undo that, they constantly moisturizer and shit. They don't get ashy.
Yourself lubricated because the president has a big stick.
Yeah, that too.
Ooh.
Has a big stick.
We need to keep the stick lubricated.
Yeah, that too. Oof. Oh, 2012. That's why they were able to do it. Because they actually hated Obama then.
No man has a right to lay a hand on a woman no matter what she's wearing.
Ooh, and
None of them are women. Those are all girls. It doesn't count.
That's even worse.
Yes, my brother Biden. Welcome to the mosque.
Folks, I can tell you I've known 8 presidents, 3 of them intimately. It's
He's really close to that little girl. That's really creepy.
Yeah, this quote wouldn't be this creepy if not the context. Like if you put it in this context, like these pictures. Yeah.
Biden, no.
I'm sorry. The look on that little girl's face is just unsettling.
So Joe Biden
it really is.
touching and kissing Nevada Democrat at 2014 rally. I'm really surprised it took this long for any accusations like that to surface. Because come on, it's.
Well, I mean, as Vox said, the media's been covering for years.
Yeah. So a former Nevada State Assemblywoman has accused Joseph R. Biden Jr. of touching and kissing her at 2014 campaign event for Democrats in what she called a mortifying episode that left her feeling powerless to do anything about it. If it was any other politician, there would be some reasonable doubt. But Joe Biden, of course he did it. I mean, come on, it's what he does all the time. And this is in an essay published on Friday by New York Magazine's The Cut, the former Assemblywoman Lucy Flores, a Democrat, said she was 35 at the time of her encounter with Mr. Biden. Well, 35 is kind of a bit too old for Biden, but then again,
he's venturing into cougar territory.
That seems appropriate because Biden's always trying to fuel up other women's cuts.
Well, like he's an equal opportunity molester. Like from 8 to 80, everyone is invited.
Destiny, molestiny.
I mean, no, seriously, like it's gotta be like a fetish of his or something, like
most likely
him sniffing hair, or I don't know.
Or maybe he's just really old and doesn't know limitation. That's also
I don't think
Probably
so.
never
also
really
that's
had
also an option.
limitations, let's be fair.
Huh? What?
He's probably never had limitations. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know why Joe Biden gets that close to women? So he could whisper this. What you see my dick? What you see my dick, bitch? What you see my dick? I'ma beat that pussy up.
What the fuck?
You guys remember that whisper
How old
song?
is Biden again?
He's 76.
You guys remember that whisper song by the Yin Yang Twins?
Yes.
He's a big fan of that song.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Uh-oh. Gloves! Oh.
I'm here. So let's see.
Okay.
Mr. Biden, she wrote, had agreed to come to a rally to help her fledgling campaign for Lieutenant Governor of Nevada. Ms. Flores wrote at first she had been grateful and flattered, but as she was preparing to take the stage, she said she felt two hands on her shoulders and froze. So did she think he agreed from because he was kind and nice? It's like it's an opportunity for him to do Biden stuff. So let's see. Why is the Vice President of the United States touching me? Because he touches everyone. I felt
in more than one
Are
way.
you familiar with the president's campaign slogan?
I don't know.
Yes, we can.
Jesus Christ.
Hey.
Wait, I think I'm gonna make a meme on that.
I'll mention for some fun, Lenny, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I can. Yes, we
Look
can.
at that! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! He just has He's
like,
just
oh yeah,
copying a
that
video.
like, there is no plausible deniability.
Dude's just copying a feel right now. Holy shit!
Like right
This
there.
was even worse, unless it's photoshopped, which is
that one was photoshopped. I think in the real picture, his hands were at her waists.
Yeah, but I think this is the real picture. Oh, still creepy.
Yeah, it's the real one. It's just still kind of weird, but socially acceptable.
And there's also
this I just think he's just really, really old. That's my take on it.
Well,
I
he
would-
is, but
So, ladies and gentlemen, what would you take?
Growing up in the days before rape became illegal is not an excuse for molesting people now.
Yeah, maybe he's old. Maybe he was old enough that it wasn't illegal then.
I'm pretty sure rape was always illegal.
No,
So,
just a guess there. Just a guess.
So, how about this? The Virgin Hoverhand versus the Chad Grope.
I'd rather a Chad Grope. To be perfectly honest.
Well, because this actually beats the Hoverhand by 1,000,000 times.
No, there's another one. Grope.
Keanu Reeves is an expert at the hoverhand.
Beto O'Rourke is ready for that. Is ready. He's ready for that.
My feet.
What is about this meme?
Provide milk.
Hey, lady, need you swipe?
Anyways, let's
Go back to the Photoshop picture.
I'm very handy, if you know what I mean.
Go back to the Photoshop picture.
Come on.
For a second,
Very
Bob.
hands-on.
I'm a hands-on type of guy.
Oh, he didn't hear me.
You
I
were
wanted you to go
saying
back to it for just a second. The one where it looks like he's groping your tits. The Photoshop.
Oh, like this one. Oh,
Yeah, the edit of that.
Where? Here. Yeah, this one.
Provide milk.
Yes.
Then she added, he proceeded to plant a big slow kiss on the back of my head. My brain couldn't process what was happening. I was embarrassed. I was shocked. I was confused. Well, you didn't know much about him then, if this shocks you.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if he didn't try anything like that. Reached by phone, Flores, who was attending Beto O'Rourke kickoff campaign rally in El Paso, she said she expected Mr. Biden and some of the public to minimize the interaction. We don't have a system in any way, shape, or form right now in politics where women and victims can speak out and can have their
I
voice
think I
heard.
know what the source of the confusion is. She didn't realize what he meant when he said, "I really love minorities."
Ooh.
God.
Hey,
I'm glad somebody said it because I was trying not to.
Hey, Lucy, you know what they
Don't
call
you
me?
mean minors? Now, what's the difference?
Hey, Lucy, you know why they call me Mr. Hands? How about you step a little closer and find out?
So apparently there is an article
It's
on
funny because Lucille Ball was actually the aggressive one in that relationship.
Wait. So there's an article in fucking Kotaku, of all places, called "Joe Biden Gets Too Close to Anime Girls."
Oh, hell no! They fell for it.
Oh yeah, this is an old meme.
Fuck is this
Season 1 was out.
Oh, Neon Tester.
That fucking face.
Well, first of all, why does Kotaku have a section called politics?
I mean, he is basically the age group who watches Love Live.
Because anime, like everything else, is political. If you don't recognize
Yeah,
it, you're
Personal
not-
is political.
Yeah, anime where they constantly name the JQ. And Legend of Galactic Heroes where there was a literal Jew planet.
Well, didn't they? Wasn't one of the criticisms of the Goblin Slayer when that came out was, oh, the goblins are supposedly like a symbolism for Jews or immigrants.
You know, if you think that goblins are supposed to be Jews, not the show's creators that who are anti-Semitic. You are, if you see those parallels. Just saying.
Oh,
Let's say, does Japan even have a history of anti-Semitism?
Kind of.
More or
I
less.
mean, they were allies with Hitler in World War II, but there's not really any Jews in Japan, so it's not like it'd be the same thing.
There's really not much of anything in Japan because they are homogenous.
No, yeah.
State.
Kind of.
Let's close all of these.
But yeah. There's also that time when one of these motherfuckers did the Jew is a samurai, the Jew fears the samurai.
Oh yeah, we watched that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was fun.
Did you die? Yeah.
We need to find a Jew and ask him if the Jews really fears the samurai.
So, in a statement, Bill Russo, spokesman for Mr. Biden, said the former vice president did not recall what Ms. Flores described. Well, I mean, he has done it so much that he doesn't remember all of those cases individually. I'm pretty sure that's true.
Again, maybe he's just too old to remember.
Mr. Russo said that Mr. Biden had been pleased to support Lucy Flores' candidacy. Oh, yeah, he was pleased.
Very pleased.
Fulton governor.
And not a
to
very healthy
in the world and the public event. Neither then nor in the years since did he or a staff with him at the time have an inkling that Miss Flores had been at any time uncomfortable, so they thought that she enjoyed it.
Oof, not a...
So basically, oh, fuck's sakes. No.
Man, this just gets deeper and deeper the more we read at this.
Oh, by the way, it's this article is written by the New York Times, so look at it. Mr. Biden has long been criticized for his handling of the Supreme Court confirmation hearings for Clarence Thomas in 1991, when he led a panel of white men in aggressively questioning Anita Hill, who is African American. On Tuesday, he expressed regret for his role in the hearing, saying, "To this day, I regret I couldn't give her the kind of hearing she deserved." Yeah, fucking white male. Mr. Biden has also faced scrutiny over the years of pictures and videos that have shown him standing close to women and sometimes touching them on the shoulders, whispering in their ears, and even giving kisses. Well, how do they not mention that he also was grabbing, young girls by the face and other body parts?
So basically, Joe Biden
that's also weird old people behavior, but it's not really looking good when you're in a public stage there.
So basically, he's the bit mignon of the political.
Oh, don't you put us wops in with this potato nigger? How dare you?
I'm not sure which side to
Goddamn
take
beaner.
on that because I'm Sicilian and Irish.
Oh, see, oh wow, oof,
damn.
I would say Smollett yourself, but he didn't actually do it, so
Fucking hell.
So I like how they kind of try to minimize the what is on display. I mean, we've seen the videos in video form. It's worse than as pictures because it's really fucking creepy and weird. Oh, well, don't need to repeat it. Okay, in her essay, picture surfaced her anger and resentment grew. It's by the second most powerful. Promote me as so. Well, you get the idea. There's not much to the story. I mean, I was surprised that it took that long for these accusations to surface, given the wealthy archive of him doing creepy stuff before. So, of course, sooner or later this should have been. All right. Anyways, enough of this. Let's talk about. Let's see what topics do we have. We have quite a few topics actually.
Yep. Well, we started a hair late, so.
Oh well, let's change the topic completely and watch a very cringy video.
Oh fuck!
Oh god, it already looks like a pod person. Jesus Christ!
God.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the cringe.
I haven't actually seen this before, so I'll experience it for the first time with you.
Oh my god!
Hot takes right here.
Can the pod people at least learn to spell their names like normal?
There is no binary coherent thing called biological sex. Well, if you are on PCP, nothing is coherent. And so there's a link to a YouTube video. So this is only like 1 minute, but the YouTube video is probably
Bitch
longer.
has Keith Olbermann head going on here. Fuck.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
Oh, it's Teen Vogue, so of course it's retarded. Let's first watch.
So what is this? Fucking water baby? What the hell?
Hi, I'm Hannah Gabby, and I'm here to tell you the binary is sex typically refers to your biological trait.
The binary is bullshit. That's what she said.
Oh.
Let's watch this video because it's 7 minutes of
long.
this. All right. Let's
Make sure to downvote.
I'm here to tell you the binary is bullshit.
Yeah, it's funny how they censored bullshit for Twitter, even though on Twitter you can post.
You can post fucking porn on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 misconceptions about sex and gender. Well, it's funny how Teen Vogue is not the source I would go to.
One, they mean separate things.
That's the thing. You shouldn't get any biological information from Teen Vogue. Well, in fact, I take it back. You shouldn't get any information from Teen Vogue because whatever they see, it's probably false. Because it's terrible. Also, wait. By the way, check out. Over 1 million subscribers. This video is like 4,000 views.
I have more views than that. Fuck you.
Yeesh.
I don't even
Make sure
know
to
if I have. I
downvote.
don't know if I have as many total views as they just have likes, though. So I'm like, then again, I don't promote my channel at all. So
Was this made?
You know, a lot of channels have, on the first glance, they have really, really good stats. But if you see, their engagement is almost non-existent. With a channel that has over 1 million
How
subscribers.
many comments do they have? I bet I have more comments than they have. 37? All right, let me go
I
check my
hope
channel.
carrying water for Satan is worth the paycheck for you. What?
What's my YouTube dick?
The fuck? What the fuck is this? I just wanted to comment. Okay. This idea that the body is male or female is totally wrong. Someone failed their biology courses. Oh yeah. Sigh. Oh my god, I'm third. Love your videos, Nesvid. You know, if you get a third comment on a video on the channel that has 1.2
being
million
the third
subscribers,
comment makes you excited. I'm like,
what a freak show! Gender ideology, dysphoria is weaponized mental illness. Yeah.
35 comments on my video. This video is fuck you.
This is gonna be good. You know it's gonna be good. Let's watch this.
Sex typically refers to your biological traits.
There's your gonads, your genitalia, your internal sex characteristics, your hormone production, hormone response, and secondary sex characteristics.
Gender is about your identity, your expression, and it's often based on ideas about sex.
It's important that we really break down what are we talking about when we talk about sex and gender, and is there something called biological sex, and what does that mean?
You know, that mustache better not have any mustache than this half mustache he had.
they're saying there's no biological sex while discussing
Oh, look,
biological.
it's Dante from the reboot. What?
But look at this mustache. I mean, come on. At this point,
Shave it. You, first of all, shave it. You're not young enough or Indian enough to make it pass.
Also, by the way, I have a sound clip for that. Yeah, there it is. A moment.
Do you guys have noticed that? Do you guys have noticed?
Male degenerate weirdos.
A little louder.
Yeah, a moment.
Soy-based beta male degenerate weirdos.
Basically.
I'm not surprised that this soy-based life form is from ACLU. ACLU has been going down.
What?
Yeah.
I think that thing started off as a woman. That's one of those F2M kind of people.
Well,
yeah,
maybe. But look at those tattoos. Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, it's a female. Yeah, it was a female.
Too much of a bitch to even have them colored.
I like how the last name is Strangio. Yeah, there's something Strangio about this whole video. But let's.
Is there something called biological sex,
Uh,
and what does that
We
mean?
lost Andrew Doll.
Yeah, you see the boys.
How is he more gay than El Dante? I don't get it.
Yeah, you see the boys. Chase's Boys is a giveaway that it was once a female.
Oof. Oh,
Yeah.
they're going for that.
Go ahead.
Well, Andrew Doll had to bail for today. But yeah, let's.
I'll be leaving in a few minutes too.
Well, at least we'll get you to endure at least some of this torture with us.
Maybe that's why. Maybe he's just fleeing.
Let's see this.
And what does that mean?
And the volume is kind of. By the way, Teen Vogue, they can afford someone who knows how to use Audacity to boost the volume because this is.
Fuck no, they're all getting high and fucking each other in the bathroom. Oh wait, that's every company now.
Yeah.
That was on Facebook.
This idea that the body is either male or female is totally wrong. And I am living proof of that.
We know intersex.
No.
What?
No, you fucking don't.
It's not a third sex. It is a birth defect. It is a genetic abnormality. It is not a third sex. It is not a third gender.
Yes, because there are actually multi-gendered animals. We know what that looks like. This ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, by the way, intersex is like an umbrella term for different genetic anomalies, and some of them render the patient either completely unable to reproduce, or hinder their abilities, or have other negative implications. For example, it's kind of like if you have extra chromosomes, it's not that different from Down syndrome, and it's not normal.
There actually, speaking about intersex, there actually is like very rare ones that can actually impregnate themselves.
Yeah, and they're usually like awful. Don't do it. Not recommended.
A lot of them don't even survive enough for long enough to be adults. So
yeah, I mean,
most intersex people are usually one or the other anyway, even though they have.
And actually, a lot they've also found out that a lot of people that they thought were intersex, because like one girl was, she full tits, pussy, no dick, no balls. I mean everything female, but tested out male on genetic tests. Come to find out, she was a chimera.
Oh, so it's not even intersex. It's chimera is where you have tissues from two different organisms. It's like
so basically, she absorbed her other sibling in the womb.
Yeah, but it's like basically it's like either the cheek swab or the blood. I can't remember which one tested out as male, but the other
even
one
though she
tested
was
out
actually
as hers.
Even though like she herself is female, but yeah, she has parts of the other sibling.
This is an example of a chimera.
Yeah,
it's actually two different organisms, like two different cats in one.
Yeah, which would make sense why she would actually test male despite being female. She is literally
either that or they ran out of toner.
No, but yeah, that makes sense. Actually.
You don't get to use like .something% of the population to disprove anything. Exceptions are not.
Exceptions can prove the rule if you actually
and it's
figure out
actually
why the exception exists.
It's something like what is it? 0.2% of the population, based completely on I say so.
Look, basically, what we're saying is
an abomination on God.
If you get to use 0.1% of the population, we're allowed to use 13%.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Oh my God, is that a JoJo reference? I seen her last name.
Oh, it's funny because Diablo is bipolar.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, John Lordy Lord. Point that because some people are amputees and not, humans are not bipeds.
Yeah. No, some people are born without some extremities. So again, we shouldn't.
So they are no. So they basically are no peds.
And some have phantom limb disorder. What else is new?
Like there are a lot of different birth defects and genetic abnormalities that are not representative of the norm. So if we get every single aberration and use it to disprove some general rules, we'll get nowhere. So yeah, let's see. Lucy Diavolo, writer and editor, Teen Vogue. Of course they. Yeah, I was.
Sex people exist and break down the binary.
We all have.
Yeah, again, it's like saying, some people are sexually attracted to minors, so pedophilia is normal. No, it's not. And there are way more pedophiles than intersex people.
Shut it all down.
So, pedophilia, by definition, is more normal than intersex.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
I'm gonna go kill myself now.
Checkmate, atheists.
Yeah. Seriously, this is you don't want to go this far with this because you can use the same arguments to justify all sorts of degeneracy.
We are capable of we are capable of just as much mental gymnastic as you are. You don't want to fight us.
Some of us are mental. All we have to do is the gymnastic part. We're already halfway there, motherfucker.
All right.
Welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker.
Let's continue because I'm sure this is going to get even worse.
We got
characteristics that are typically male and typically female. And it is really about political choices, social factors, ideological choices that we assign meaning to different parts of our body. So the meaning may be that the thing that most of us are taught, that if you have a vagina, you're a girl, or if you have a penis, you're a boy.
But like many
You need to play that clip from
what you just said is the most. This clip. Let me find it.
No, not that one.
One from Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, but boys have a penis and girls have a vagina. You need to play that clip from Kindergarten Cop. Yeah, just that. You're gonna find it. The second one. Yeah.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
And everyone laughed. Oh yeah, I wanted to play this one because
A serious Austrian man just looking at the kid.
Well, yes, that is very true.
I wanted to play this one because let's listen to
That is
this.
correct, little boy. You will go far in life.
We know intersex people exist and break down this binary.
We all have characteristics that are typically male and typically female. And it is really about political choices, social factors, ideological choices that we assign meaning to different parts of our body. So the meaning may be that the thing that most of us are taught, that if you have a vagina, you're a girl, or if you have a penis, you're a boy.
But like,
Again, I wanted to play this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, it's not political. In biology, it's defined that if you have a Y chromosome, you're a male. If you don't have Y chromosome, you're a female. Again, for different, like for birds, it's the classification is different, but for mammals, it's my head hurts now.
I can't be the only one who thinks that her last name means dabble in Italian, can I?
Well, yeah, it is.
Well, like a lot of those names have a weird, like this.
Well, Doppio is second.
Anyways, let's continue. Oh, this is the worst method.
Well, we got the rest of the Italian over here, so.
Yeah.
Many simple binaries break down when you start to really get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, well, a lot of binaries break down if you start making shit up. Also, this is the Mass Effect Andromeda face.
Oh, you know what's coming. You know what's coming.
No, it is literally double. I'm thinking of a different
I'm
one.
sorry. My binary is tired.
My face is tired.
My
God,
face
it
is
looks like the
binary.
face model they used. Holy shit.
You fucked up my face.
Yeah.
You fucked up my face. Well, with that, I gotta take my leave for tonight now, gentlemen.
Enduring this.
Bye, nigga.
You're welcome. I'll
See ya.
catch you guys next week.
See you later.
Thanks again. Later.
For comparison.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's not the same face. Yeah.
Every night I see her. I can't feel my leg.
It will never not be funny to talk about Mass Effect Andromeda. Anyways.
Well, at least that way we know when you eventually get replaced by a pod person.
Yeah, let's continue.
What have you done with Glebs?
The location or the idea of what determined one's true sex shifted. 100 years ago, it used to be whether or not you had ovaries or testes.
Yeah, because 100 years ago, there was no affordable and quick genetic testing. It's called technological progress. It's like how the definition of a meter changed, because back in the day when the system was invented, they had to measure the Earth, and well, now the meter is it was like what's it tied to now? It's like some percentage of wavelength of some. It's tied to some natural phenomenon. So if there at any point the
that way they can avoid the actual original physical thing of a meter shrinking or decaying and then changing the unit.
If all of those are lost, you can
it's defined by a wavelength on like the Planck scale.
Yeah, there's something like some number of
something that's a universal constant.
Something. So again, the definitions changes, but it doesn't mean that the meter changed. Well, maybe it changed very slightly, even though
it changed because it was more rigorously defined. But yes,
yeah, but it's still the same. Well, it's supposed to be the same, so it's yeah. Egon in the chat says this is the stupidest argument I've ever seen. The things exist whether we know about them or not. It's not a change. Yeah, exactly.
Not if you badly read an old study that says there's no objective reality.
Well, that's the thing. But again, speaking of, they again, you can make the argument that things are like only the way we define, because there's no categories exist only when people define those categories, because in nature there's
as if to say that is not a useful definition.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can say, well, now we define biological sex this way and that way. Well, again, the definitions change because now we can define them better. But the categories, the way they were defined before and the way they defined now, there's a gigantic overlap. So, if you take someone who was a woman by the old definition and compare, if it's almost always will be the woman for
now the definition is
modern
closer
definition.
to what they used to call whales, but okay.
And you can, anyways, the people who are outside of those norms, they're like tiny percentage over percentage. So again, those are the really outlying cases, and don't define norm by the exception. That's the thing. Anyways, let's continue.
And it shifted to what kinds of chromosomes that you had. But the body doesn't just have one place where we can sit there with a microscope or something else and say, hey,
do you understand that the body is the way it is because of the chromosomes, right?
Oh my god.
Like,
DNA isn't real. I mean, that's a whole different discussion, but still,
also, just not one place. Is trying to say that in some cells, chromosomes are not the same, and in some cells chromosomes mutate, and in some cells, the mitosis wasn't correct. So some cells might have incomplete or too many chromosomes. Look, those are
not
errors.
the same thing. That's a disingenuous argument to use that.
If you take a genetic sample and see some abnormalities, just take another sample from the same organism, because there's usually if you manage to get the cell that has an abnormal set of genes, usually if you take another sample from a different part of the body, you'll get the right one, unless all of the cells have this abnormality, because there's the blastocell had this abnormality, and all cells because of that have it. Oh, okay. Anyways, let's continue.
hey, wait a second. This is really who you are. This is your true sex. In fact, who you are is who you say you are.
Okay, I'm the president of the world. And I say that I have the biggest dick in the universe. Who are you to tell me that it's not?
Shut up, Maddox.
You can just take a ruler and measure it. But can we actually define dick size using measurement instruments? Or should we use it as
because rulers were created by white men.
Yes, with the names Archimedes and Pajit. Yes.
So again, the thing about this, I thought this would be a stupid argument, but she actually made an even stupid argument. Mine was actually not as stupid as hers. So.
And you're on drugs.
Well, do you think they are not on drugs? Because I'm sure they are. By the way, speaking of, I need another coffee because.
I can't be
should be on drugs.
I can't be the only one.
Well, let's actually see how common they are, because let's see.
I can't be the only one who thinks that her accent is Swedish, isn't it? She has
Sweden, yes.
Sweden is a hell of a drug.
Population figures. Okay, so 1.7% of human births might be intersex, including variations that may not become apparent until. So 1.7% is not common. And
That's still a little high.
Yeah.
Seems like that should be lower, but
But apparently, the publications aspects considered outdated, such as use of the now scientifically incorrect term hermaphrodite. Well, just because the term is not used doesn't mean anyways. The term disorder of sex development had replaced hermaphrodite.
Well, ladybug is actually incorrect, but people still use it anyway. They're actually ladybird beetles, but nobody calls them
Beetles with
that.
diagnosis may not experience stigma, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so different abnormalities. It's an umbrella term, so the different genetic defects. And yes, those are genetic defects, because if you have an extra chromosome or lack a chromosome, you should have. It's a defect. It's not a third gender, third sex, or whatever. It's like saying, people who have a Down syndrome, they also have a genetic defect. That's pretty much the same. If you have like an extra X chromosome, it's pretty much.
This is literally the fucking basis to the plot of Shane Black's retarded Predator movie. Autistic people are the new species.
Well, it's like they
Well, it's technically it's also basically Gundam. It's just like the new type theory. It's basically space autism.
Yeah, but they at least have space autism.
Yeah,
These
at least
people just have no dick.
at least they actually have space autism in Gundam.
You know, they should have named the movie not Predator, but Spurgator or something like that.
Predatorburg.
No. They should have just called it Mercury Rising 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Of course, it needs to be Electric Boogaloo.
Well, if you guys have ever seen the first Mercury Rising, it's basically about a kid who has autism, who uncovers the CIA code, and then they are trying to get at him.
Wasn't that a fucking Life is Strange sequel? Oh no, wait, that's Captain Autismo.
Oh fuck!
I know that's not its actual name; it's a joke. I mean, it is, but it isn't.
What do you think I laughed at it, man?
Right,
Life is gays.
While the teapot is, Anyways, let's continue this bullshit.
Turner syndrome, that's the condition that turns you into a kid for the rest of your life. Basically what Ash Ketchum has.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ!
Intersex people are individuals born with varying degrees of sex characteristics that don't fit the typical script of what it means to be male or female.
No, it's not characteristics. It's genetics, and also those are
genetics and also tissues. And this bitch is
funny how they dance around the thing.
Looks like a goddamn pod person.
Yeah, but they dance around the issue that those are considered genetic defects, because even nowadays.
Look how pale she is! Holy shit!
Look at her forehead.
My
Lord.
By the way, some of those genetic defects.
Shit.
If she was any paler, it probably would mean that she's a albino.
By the way, those defects also have some other impacts. It's not about just sexual characteristics. Usually, they have other, health issues with that. So maybe the fact that she is so pale is connected to that, or maybe she has other unrelated genetic defects. Because if you have one, might as well have another. Because it's not normal.
Shut up, you.
By definition, not normal. I'm here, but
I was wrong. She's Belgian actually.
Yeah.
That explains everything. No, the French world, at least in France, it's pretty much the national meme to shit on Belgium.
There you go.
I identify as an intersex person.
You don't identify as. Either you are or you aren't. It's also the question was the myth, quote unquote, is that intersex people are not common, and what their response is, oh, I identify as. Nobody cares.
That doesn't actually answer the question.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'll be right back. My coffee is right here.
So basically, Hanagabi is a hermaphrodite.
Probably.
Yeah.
So guys, this looks like a normal plane, right? Wrong.
Oh dear lord, what the fuck is that? 4
Uh,
thrusters. Damn, son.
two normal jet engines plus 2 solid rocket boosters.
Dude, what are you planning to go super? Are you trying to go Mach 1 in this thing?
No, I'm trying to go Mach 20.
Yeah.
2 large SRBs like that. Yeah, no, this is just pure madness here. Don't try this at home, kids.
The term hermaphrodite is not considered. Well, hermaphrodite is not applicable to humans because hermaphrodite is supposed to be applied to species that don't have that don't have different biological sexes. So, like for example, ringworms are hermaphrodites because they don't have males and females. But who have characteristics of both sexes, it's called intersex, not hermaphrodite.
The same applies with snails and slugs.
Oh, so snails and slugs, they are hermaphrodite because they don't really have sex. Both any snail can fuck with any snail, literally.
Well, snails don't have sex, just like David Sherratt.
Oh,
yeah, no. Snails can get plenty of it. David,
I mean,
no,
look at Gary.
just
Did
cannot.
you see him?
Hmm?
Nothing. SpongeBob joke.
Well, let's continue with this because I wonder what their quote unquote debunking will be.
I identify as an intersex woman.
And
It's not answering the question, you fucking retard.
I said that not too long ago.
Oh, they say 1.7%. Listen to
Identify
this.
as an intersex woman.
And we're not that rare. It's 1.7% of the population is born like this. It's as common as people with green eyes and red heads. Everybody knows somebody, but it's sometimes hard for the person to speak about it.
No, they at that percentage they literally wouldn't.
I like how they try to say, try to equate this, just like people with red hair. I'm sorry, but you can compare just prevalence of one mutation that has to do with the hair color, and this fucking having by the way, let's not forget that intersex is an umbrella term, and let's see each one individually because those are different defects. And look at this. 0.05%. One is 0.1%. This one 0.04. This one 0.008. This
It
one.
says about 1 to 2% for red hair globally, and this was back in 2018. So yeah,
individually,
not even
one
close.
of those defects is really kind of rare. So just because you have one term for them. And all of those are defects because having.
And no, you do not round up to 1 from thousandths of a percent.
Well, they meant that altogether they 1.7%, but it's just different.
Altogether of very different syndromes. You lying man-woman thing.
I mean, you got to remember though, they need to be able to redefine intersex as any of these conditions rather than specific conditions.
Yes, let's continue with this.
But the person doesn't necessarily know it.
I remember when I first learned about intersex and how surprising it was to me. I was like, what is this? Why have I never heard about this? And we haven't heard about it because it's actually been stigmatized for a long time.
One thing a lot of
No, it's not stigmatized. The reason why most people never hear about it is because the reason why most people who do hear about it because their doctor is telling them, hey, this is what's wrong with you.
Shut up, you racist.
James, I can't be the only one who's noticing that all the women in there are pale as shit.
I know. At one point, I had a real big thing for pale chicks, but now it's become a warning sign to me now.
Now he's over it basically.
Oof.
That's actually. We can take a look at all of those defects and see the symptoms. And let's see.
Vaginal atresia. I thought I read that as Artesia, being the real name of Sayla Mass from Gun 0079.
Yeah.
Artesia sumdecum.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's actually take a look at some of those syndromes and see the
Klinefelter syndrome.
So it's like double XY chromosomes. Okay, let's see. What are symptoms? Sign and symptoms. Okay.
I know that Turner syndrome is basically a condition where if you're a kid, you're gonna stay a kid on the outside, but on the inside you're aging.
Yeah.
So basically, you look 12, but you're really somewhere around 20, 28 years old.
So look at this. So it's obviously since they have a Y chromosome, they are males, but they have weaker muscles, reduced strength, and then mostly they are infertile or fertility is reduced. Infertile. If you're infertile, then evolutionary, you are a dead end. There's nothing going after you.
Yeah.
You are the last node on your family branch. There's nothing that you produce nothing. You are shooting blanks, and this is how you see. Look, it's not like making your life worse. It literally makes you the last node in your branch. There will be your genes are it's a dead end. That's from as bad as from evolutionary perspective it's no different from just being stillborn or not being born at all, because the result is the same. Your genes are stop where they are.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah, but then again, these are the same people that complain that medical forms ask male or female because specific medications and drugs will, like some of them, if you give certain medications to men, it could kill them. If certain medications you could give them to women, it could kill them.
Or also there's also medication that works better on black people.
Yeah. Well, anyways, let's see.
Shut up, racist.
On Turner syndrome is like one X chromosome. So one X chromosome is missing. Let's see what this is. Okay, is a condition in which female is partially or completely missing an X chromosome. Signs and symptoms vary among those affected. Often a short and webbed neck, low set ears, low hairline in the back of the neck, short stature, swollen hands and feet. Typically develop menstrual periods and breasts only with hormone treatment and are unable to have children without reproductive technology. Again, without medical technology, they would be unable to procreate at all. So again, another evolutionary dead end. It's not a different sex, different gender. It's a defect. And from evolutionary perspective, it's as bad as it gets. Heart defect, diabetes, and low thyroid hormone occur more frequently. Again, those are not signs of just different. No, it's not just different. It's defective. That's what it is. Okay, non-normal intelligence men have trouble with spatial visualization. Ugh. That may be needed for mathematics. Vision and hearing problems occur more often. Again, see, those are not good.
So, yeah, not only can you not reproduce, you are actually less fit for survival because the very traits necessary for survival, such as visual acuity.
Yeah, those are pretty bad, but those are not even the worst because some of them are actually much worse. Androgen insensitivity syndrome. Let's see this one. This one is kind of rare.
Androgen.
Rare. Not as common. Okay.
That's the one.
Basically, you're naturally born soy boy.
Yeah.
That's the condition that supposedly Hannah Gaby has.
Cool.
The hermaphrodite from that video.
Oh. So insensitivity to androgens is clinically significant only when it occurs in genetic males. Clinical phenotypes. So, okay, let's see.
You were a natural-born soy boy.
3 categories. Complete androgen insensitivity syndrome is indicated within the external genitalia of a normal female. So, again, if you are male but you have a genitalia of a female, well, you won't reproduce anytime soon. Mild androgen insensitivity is indicated when the external genitalia are that of a normal male, and partial androgen insensitivity syndrome indicated when the external genitalia are partially but not fully masculinized. Okay. Management, let's see.
Where's the urn?
Symptoms. Let's see. Let's see. Partial and complete regression of Mueller structures, bilateral non-dysplastic testes, and impaired spermatogenesis and or fertilization. Again, this impairs your ability to procreate, and from evolutionary perspective, it's really bad. Okay. So basically, in this case, you don't miss any chromosome, don't have extra chromosomes, but your genes are fucked. So. Okay. So, anyways, thing is, let's see. Oh, this is the same thing. Okay. Classical congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Let's see. Any of several autosomal recessive diseases resulting from mutations of genes for enzymes mediating the biochemical steps, blah, 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 blah. So basically, it's, because of mutations, you have altered, like you don't have enough, hormones produced, by the adrenal glands. Most of these conditions involve excessive or deficient production of sex steroids and can alter development. Okay, signs and symptoms. Let's see. Vomiting due to salt wasting, leading to dehydration and death. Well, that's nothing to do.
That's dandy.
It's like it can just kill you.
So,
This
not
is
only can you not see well enough to to protect yourself against predators and hunt and find food, you can't eat.
Well, at that time, especially
you are a reject.
Especially since they maybe are gonna have President Biden, protection from predators are super important.
Oh, speaking of, I wanted to show this one.
It's a club, and you were in it.
I'm saving this one because it's good. Okay, so again, this one was due to
Care of your country, ma'am.
So yeah, due to excess androgens, functional and average sized penis in cases involving extreme virilization, but no sperm. Again, if you don't have sperm, you won't have children. Ambiguous genitalia in some females, such as can be initially difficult to identify external genitalia as male or female. Early pubic hair, no, it's not a big problem. Precocious.
Too young.
Also, failure of puberty to occur. Excessive facial hair. Chewbacca. Virilization and menstrual irregularity in adolescence. Infertility due to an ovulation. Yeah, infertility might be a bit of a problem, right? Just a little bit.
Tiny bit. Just a smidge.
Enlarged clitoris and shallow vagina. Again, there's probably other problems. Due to insufficient androgens and estrogens. Under virilization in XY males, which can result in apparently female external genitalia. Again, if you are male and your genitalia look like female genitalia, it's a problem. You probably won't impregnate anyone in your life. again, from evolutionary perspective, it's bad. In females, hypogonadism, acanthosis, sexual infantilism, or abnormal pubertal development, infertility, and other reproductive system abnormalities. See, that's not a different biological sex. It's broken biological sex. If you're infertile or almost infertile, that's really not a good thing. Okay, late onset adrenal hyperplastic. Oh, so it's vaginal. I'm not sure I can even show this. Okay, let me just stop presenting for a second and see what this picture was. Yeah, well, I know it's for scientific purposes, but you never know with YouTube. Okay.
So you're back at the drawing board, Macho.
Yep.
All right. So, okay, I'll scroll past the picture. So let's see symptoms. Symptoms and signs of a newborn can be sepsis, abdominal mass, and respiratory distress. Well, if you're just born and already have problem breathing, well, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, you generally need to breathe. It's recommended.
Yeah. Resulting diagnosis of symptoms.
It's usually recommended by your doctor to be able to breathe.
Oh, cyclical abdominal pain.
Breathe, E-A-T-H-E, and breathe, B-R-E-E-D. Both are pretty much recommended by your doctor.
Remember, kids, it's important to breathe, especially when you're doing yoga.
So back is really bad. Okay, let me to check each one of them. Oh, okay, this doesn't have pictures. Okay, so in humans, frequent anatomical variations associated with in mice. No, I don't care about mice. Oh, this article is not very good. It's really not much. Oh, this doesn't have any article at all. Well, again, it's so rare. Then okay, maybe it's not very well studied. Genetic caused by medical treatment. Well, it's okay. 5-alpha reductase deficiency. Let's see what this. So, autosomal recessive intersex condition caused by a mutation of the 5A reductase type 2 gene. Signs and symptoms. Individuals with 5ARD are born with male gonads, including testicles and Wolffian structures. They can have normal male external genitalia, ambiguous genitalia, or normal female genitalia, but usually tend towards female appearance. Development of the genital tubercle tissue with
So basically, a giant clitoris or a tiny dick. So this is basically tiny dick syndrome.
Maybe.
So deepening of the voice and then enlargement of the clitoris. Okay, in adulthood, individuals do not experience male pattern baldness as the so it's hypothesized that okay. Fertility. Since the gonad tissue develops into testes rather than ovaries, they're thus unable to create ova, but may be able to create sperm. Male fertility can still be possible if viable sperm is present in the testes. So it's again, it can render you infertile, and if you are infertile, then evolutionary you are dead. So, and if someone has a external genitalia, female genitalia, it's not fully formed, so yeah, they are infertile, and it's yeah. So basically, it's not very good.
Hey, it's flying with the SRBs on at that.
Okay, this one is called mosaicism. Okay, signs and symptoms. Although similar in some ways to true hermaphroditism, the conditions can be distinguished. Okay, let's see.
Jesus.
Biggest. Okay, there's a range of chromosomal abnormalities. Factual result. Most patients with this karyotype are known to have abnormal gonal histology and heights considerably below their genetic potential. Diagnosis. Yeah. The gonads may not be symmetrical. The development of the Mullerian duct because of presence of genetic. So, yeah, it's not very good at either. Okay, I mean,
You know, for being an educational.
So that is a cluster of how many different syndromes?
Okay. Anyways, you get the idea. Let's continue with this video. We'll never fucking finish it. Okay. Let's do it.
Are medically unnecessary surgeries that are forced upon intersex children to make them fit into these boxes.
If you don't have a vaginal opening and you experience cramps and there's
that might be a problem.
blood to flow out, it's not an unnecessary surgery, you fucking retard.
Might be a small issue.
Of male or female. I have gone through surgeries that have really stuck with me through my whole life and affected a lot of different parts of my life just so that I can fit into this box of female.
Maybe your doctor has a better idea if the surgery was necessary or not, because just random people, just because you have a condition doesn't mean that you understand if surgery was necessary or not. Especially if you're an activist, because activists are less trustworthy than like random people, because they have an agenda. If you have an agenda, your judgment might not be 100% clear of bias. Just a hunch. I'm calm. Everything is fine.
Breathe in, breathe out. Remember the 6 gorillion.
Follow me than I expected. Okay, I'm already.
Possible to be both intersex and transgender, but it's really important to understand that they are not the same.
It's more like a Venn diagram. While intersex people are often born with a mix of what science considers male and female biological characteristics, trans people are often born into a binary gender and then realize later in life that whatever their assigned gender was isn't how they actually want to live.
No. That's gender dysphoria. I noticed the thing they did here is take out the medical malady that is actually tied to it.
Yeah, that's
Just interesting little slip of the tongue there, huh?
Yeah, they're trying to make the case against there being anything biological, so they have to gloss over the whole medical thing.
Even though that would actually be their strongest point if they were, not all fucking crazy.
And also, if you notice the language of like the LGBT and the transgender activism, they say assigned gender and all this as though it's completely arbitrary and somebody else is making the decision. Other than the fact that you were born, you either had a pokey or a not pokey.
Yeah. Also, they fail to mention any other health defects that go along with this condition. I wonder why. No,
actually are.
I was born with XY chromosomes, and my gender at birth was female.
We tend to think that chromosomes for women should only ever be XX, but there are women that have XY chromosomes.
Chromosomes are not the sole determinant of your sex or your gender.
When I say
no, chromosomes determine pretty much everything about how your body develops. Like, for fuck's sake, what are these people not realizing? Do they think that just because they feel some way that maybe the fact that you're pardon the expression, but freaks of nature, it also usually is determined by the chromosomes being abnormal, fucked up. Well, if you wanted to to see examples of how the education system has failed, well, there it is. Okay, I'm calm. I'm calm. Everything is fine. Let's continue this.
I'm a woman. I don't just mean that I identify as a woman. I mean that my biology is the biology of a woman, regardless of whether or not doctors agree.
Saying that a person.
Well, just because your defective genes cause your body to produce not normal amount of hormones, and that's why your body developed in not a normal way, doesn't mean that you can ignore your Y chromosome. Also, you are probably infertile. So there's that.
Oh no, that one's not even a genetic abnormality. That one's a straight up cross-dresser trying to say that, well, no, I mean that my biology is female, regardless of if the doctors agree or not. I'm sorry, but I would think that the person who went through 10 years of medical school is probably a bit more qualified to say whether you are a man or a woman than you are.
With XY chromosomes is only male is a narrow way to look at the diverse range of chromosome differences that we can have as a
defects, not differences.
Diverse. They got to always have that diversity in there too.
Well, we saw that there's a diverse list of birth anomalies. We saw like 10 of them. So yeah, it's a diverse list.
Yeah, there's also a diverse list of sexual offenses that have been happening in the trans community that they kept swearing up and down. Oh, trans people are not predators.
Human beings are so complex that each person has the right to define who they are, and X and Y can't define who you are in your heart, in your mind, as you're growing in life.
Too many.
You notice how none of those arguments have anything to do with anything scientific. All both just humans are so complex, therefore they can define themselves as whatever they are. That's not how it works. Or if you just allow people to define themselves however they want, well, those definitions are useless. There are some people who believe that they are reincarnations of Napoleon or something. Some people believe that they are possessed by spirits of someone long dead. Some people believe they were abducted by aliens and anally probed. Are we going to listen to all of these retards and believe them? Because you can go deeper into this rabbit hole. Well, again, so some people believe that they are even not humans. That they are
fairies and goblins and that kind of shit.
I'm having flashbacks. Remember this fucking video about gay alien? These other retards.
Oh, you mean the new Twa alien, whatever the fuck that thing was?
Yeah, that one. I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah, it was this chick who shaped herself to be bald, and then she identified as a new Twa, which is some how should I say this? How should I say it? It's a weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, neutral gender. It's like. Again, it's just
non-binary plus.
In this case, Hillary Clinton can identify as the president. If we are what we identify as, who is to say she's not? It's so bigoted.
Non-binary, but with more blackjack and hookers.
The only non-binary that is real is tri-state logic. High logical, low, and high impedance. Yeah. Anyways. Oh, speaking of that, I have actually a meme for the occasion. There it is. We're talking about non-binary. For fuck's sake. Anyways, let's finish this.
People still believe that there's such a thing as a true sex and that it comes from your chromosomes. It's not the case. Science
because you said so.
has known this for decades, and it's actually a consensus in science and uncontroversial.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it's uncontroversial. Yeah, no, fuck you.
Needed.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was gonna say. Citation needed.
I can say, oh, science has found out that I'm actually the president of the world and I have the biggest dick in the universe. And don't you dare bring a compass or a ruler to measure. It's scientific consensus. It's uncontroversial, and testosterone is a male sex hormone. Well, it is. Well, yeah, of course, female bodies produce testosterone, but in lower numbers. Again, I'm gonna skip this, even though I'm sure that they are going. Well, actually, let's watch this. It's gonna be stupid because I know it's gonna be. Let's put it up.
Everybody has testosterone. It's just a matter of how your body responds to it.
But it's also not just.
No, it's not just how your body responds to it.
Matter of
It's also the amount. Female bodies produce way less testosterone than male bodies, and it's how your body responds to that. Well, it's one of those defects where what was it called? Basically, where the body is not as sensitive to testosterone or not sensitive to it at all. But you know what? It's still called the male hormone for a reason, because males have way higher testosterone levels than females. And because maybe it's calling it male hormone is not entirely accurate. Well, you can say maybe there's a case for that, but you still have to admit that males have higher. And again, if you are a male but your testosterone levels are below normals, and this is what causes you to not develop as a proper male. I'm sorry, it's not a third gender or anything.
No, because that's the thing though. Because if you are actually a woman, then your testosterone, because your body, because you were assigned male, therefore your testosterone is going to be higher. That's the kind of argument that they would make, that because, my biology is female, no matter what the doctors say, then of course, they're going to make the argument that his high-ass testosterone levels is evidence that testosterone is actually a female chemical now. Just like his penis is a woman's penis.
Yeah. Let's finish this. I didn't expect this to be so bad.
Related to things that we think of as masculine. We actually need it for our liver, for our brain, for our heart. So it's really a misnomer to keep calling it the male sex hormone. Everybody has it. Everybody needs it. It's not.
Yeah, but it's, again, levels.
Don't need it as much.
Oh my God, that is like the perfect freeze frame. Did you see her face in that?
Let's actually see. Let's see what are the differences of testosterone levels. Okay, okay, biological activity. Where's the okay? Biological effects. Does it say what the levels are? Adult. Mammalians, males in men. Okay, so in men, does it say how? Women's level of testosterone is higher when menstruating. Yeah, there's a difference. How they're different in comparison. Okay, let's see this one. Probably says, why is those pages reloading several times after being loaded? Fuck, I fucking hate Web 2.0. Also, fuck WebMD. WebMD is bullshit. Seriously, don't get me started on how bad the WebMD article about those SSRIs are not addictive. It's just when you take SSRIs and then stop taking it, you'll get you'll have a really, really bad time. But it's not addiction. No, it just has the same symptoms as addiction and the same cause as addiction, but it's not addiction because we don't want to tell that this is addictive, even though it is. Okay. Okay. It doesn't even say what the normal levels are. Again, WebMD useless.
as if it had any use ever.
Yeah, so let's see. Okay, typical levels. Okay, let's say adults. Male from 240 to 950 for males, and for females from 8 to 60. Can you see the difference? Can you fucking see the difference?
Not much.
Yeah, so
22. Well, yeah, the 19 and older, it's gonna be way lower.
yeah, so like for females, these levels are many times lower. Like more than 10 times the difference. Like almost 15. 15 times. If there's a difference 15 times more in males and females, yeah, you can call it a male hormone. Again, so yeah, I'm taking a screenshot of that. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, I need to calm down. Everything is fine.
Not just about sex.
In the sporting world today, some female athletes are even tested for high testosterone levels and forbidden from competition just based on their naturally occurring biology.
What do you think maybe they're taking hormones? Because doping is not a rare thing. Like pretty much all professional athletes do doping. But the thing is that do you notice that only the poor countries get caught in during Olympics for using
They also have not been doing the testosterone test on women for sports in quite a while, actually.
Oh, but by the way, have you noticed that when transgender athletes, like male to female transgenders, they beat females easily. Also, males,
what was it? I think
males outperform females a lot. That's why there's segregation by sex.
I think there's a guy, actually a guy. Don't try to catch me on something, but he actually decided, hey, I'm gonna identify as a woman and I'm gonna compete in this competition for women. And guess what? They accepted him, and he won absolutely fucking everything.
Even Futurama made an episode about that when Bender, well, it was called Gender Bender, when Bender pretended to be a fembot and won the Olympics, and then he actually had to undergo the surgery, and then it's a fun episode.
Oh yeah, the one where Bender represents the glorious state of Bender-Tonia or something like that, and then
country he didn't invent.
The absolute man lad actually won all the trophies.
Yeah, and then turns out that when he became a woman, became so insufferable that they forcibly did a transition back into male because he was. Well, it's an interesting episode. Nowadays, SJWs would just shit bricks if this was released like today, but
yeah.
Let's continue.
Women in elite sport that have 46XY chromosomes, but their bodies don't respond to the testosterone that they produce.
Wait, did she say 46XY?
Right. No, it's called 46XY. If you have X and Y chromosome, and you have only 46 of them in total.
Okay, because 46XY chromosomes, that's a lot of autism there.
Holy hell.
So what she's describing is
shit, I had my
condition where males are not receptive to testosterone. It's a condition. It's also due to chromosomes, but because there's a mutation in genes that are responsible for being receptive to those hormones, it's still a genetic abnormality.
Nick, it looks like we have too much autism. Should we donate some autism, my dude?
Yeah, I'd like to. I don't know. I'd like to get employed again.
Anyways,
a place that isn't shit. Anyways,
let's finish this up.
I don't think I qualify for James welfare.
Testosterone, their tissues can't use it, and yet they're excelling at elite athletes. So testosterone's not necessary to even be an elite athlete, and it's definitely not the only thing that makes people a good athlete.
This doesn't make fucking sense.
Definitely a cringeworthy misconception.
Isn't there a major steroid that's part testosterone?
No. Well, look at this. Trans women are biological men, and the response is, "Oh, it's a cringeworthy statement." You know, if you are part of this video, you shouldn't call anything cringeworthy. Let's start with that. But let's listen, and let's wrap it up after this because it is not as much degeneracy I can take. This is taking a toll on me.
Yeah, I can actually hear Gleb's brain cells begging for mercy as he keeps watching this.
No, they're begging for weed.
Yeah, for speed weed. Remember speed weed?
I don't know. What the fuck is that?
All right.
And Dick Wolf. Okay, let's continue.
Definitely a cringeworthy misconception. It's like so steeped in what we've been taught culturally and as a society.
Trans women are not biological men.
We should never talk about any woman who is trans as a man. Not a biological man, not a natal man, not really a man.
This is used to target trans women and make us out as predators, especially when it comes to bathroom bills.
Well, just because this is not an argument. This is not an argument. Just because this is used to do.
Yeah. No, the thing is, what people are trying to overlook, the bathroom bill issue was not about saying that transgenders would. They were saying that predators would use the law to take advantage of the law.
And there were
none of the people that I ever talked to ever said that, oh, well, no, transgenders are perverts and predators. We got to do that. No, it was all about the fact that actual perverts, actual rapists would use the access they were granted because of the law to gain additional access to victims.
Yeah.
Nah, they will say that's misogynistic.
But in any case,
whatever, whatever it is.
Just because it's this is used to target, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make it false. Just because it's used to do something. This is
actually the funny part about that was during the battles over the bathroom stuff. There was actually, I think it was in Seattle, a transgender molested the daughter, like he was a family friend, molested the family's daughter in their own bathroom.
Yeesh.
The entire time that people are trying to make the argument that transgender people would not sexually assault anybody in a bathroom, one of them molests, even though it was a bathroom in a private house, a transgender molested a child in a bathroom.
Let's also not forget
to say that transgenders would never molest children in the bathroom.
Oh, let's also not forget Sarah Nyberg, who was molesting her sister. Not sister.
Oh, fucking hell, that thing.
Yeah. Anyways, let's finish this bullshit.
The reality is that a trans woman's biology is a female biology. It's the system.
Yeah, that's why they had to get their penis cut off. Sure.
Oof, my man. Oof.
It's causing friction to divide us as women, and friction.
Is that a dude?
Is to feel.
Yeah.
That's politically incorrect or some shit.
Well, you can see by this, facial structures that there's some developmental disorders because
it's a man, baby. It's a man, baby.
You can pretty much assume it because they're in the video. It's pretty much a given.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, but racism.
Feel like there has to be some separation, or that my trans womanhood and your cisgender womanhood makes us in competition, or one of us is trying to take up more space when the conversation should be we're all women. It's just my journey is different.
Fine, you're a lady spreader. Shut
trans
up.
woman is a woman. She's not tricking anyone. All of her body parts are female body parts.
When you,
especially penis.
Except, when did a penis become a female body part?
Oh God, it's the meme in real life. Stop pretend. This is not A. Stop it.
Stop it.
Just stop it.
It's
Get some
time
help.
to stop.
Get some help.
It's time to stop. No more. Where the fuck are your parents?
Oy vey.
All right.
Somebody's genitals,
What
you're
am I
not
doing?
seeing the full humanity and the wholeness of that person, or acknowledging when it comes to gender identity and expression, really seeing that person for who they are.
You know, this doesn't debunk this statement at all. It's just, oh, this is your humanity. Oh, all the humanity. You notice how those arguments are not scientific; they're emotional because they don't have scientific arguments. Because scientifically, they are full of shit.
Of the violence that we see against the trans community, particularly.
Fuck off with your violence. You know, for this retardation,
gets out his baseball bat. I'll show you violence.
Get some voice training. At least make the effort to pass.
Times like this are when I wish.
All right, what the fuck is this
Jay wasn't so
monstrosity I
fucking
made?
busy.
Well, compared to these monstrosities, you know, this deserves a cactus up there in Minecraft.
All right.
Jay, come back! Stop making money and shitpost with us, please.
Fueled by this idea that trans women are really men, and that when someone learns that a person has a body part that they typically associate with men, or that a person was assigned male,
It's called a dick, and if you have a dick, you are not female. I'm sorry. Also, it's like, oh, fuck this shit. Again, I think this should be the last segment.
Will it fly? That is the question.
Will it die?
Probably.
Anyways,
Most
I think let's wrap it up for today.
Yeah.
For me. Thanks to everyone who joined us, to those who watched, we still have viewers somehow. As always, it was my privilege. See you next time with more of the same. Yeah, and
Still more viewers than CNN.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
All right, it's flying. Now